The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
Online entertainment.
NoDQ.com.
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 The people that know more about me know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Whether it's the NoDQ Galaxy, the Jeff Meacham Network, the AEW crew, Indie Force, or anything related to For the Win Productions, the gears of wrestling keep on turning, and we are here to give our thoughts, previews, and predictions. Good day to you all, and welcome to our panel for this week's Simply Predicting. It started as a vision. It grown into a movement. And once again, we celebrate and engage in what has truly become a revolution. As All Elite Wrestling's 2023 pay-per-view cycle kicks off, and we will see if there's any resolution come the end of this opening attraction for their year. So let's go ahead and get right into things. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another edition of Simply Predicting, the All Elite Wing. You know what this is, for I'm the Simple Man, and my name is Noel Foster. With me, of course, is a colorful panel of analysts tonight, representing what I like to call the Wrestling Nebula, in and out of NoDQ. Allow me to introduce them to you. First off, great friend, longtime member of the NoDQ Galaxy. He's getting involved in all things wrestling. He almost, at this point, could be a member of AEW. It's my good Christian friend, Christopher Rotz. God bless him and his mother, too. Chris, love the shirt. How are you this evening? How are you looking forward to AEW Revolution?
I'm looking forward to AEW Revolution on Sunday. So far, we got 8 matches on Sunday. I know the 0 hour, Tony Khan would possibly give us more matches on there for Sunday. So
most likely.
Let's stay tuned for that. And I want to wish everybody the best of luck who's competing in the AEW Predictions League this year. May the best person win, and let's all just have fun.
Sounds good. Shout out to last year's winner, Sean Boley, and also to last year's Team All Elite winner for NoDQ, the Super Saiyan himself, Sean Gosku. Son, you're going down this time, but here's to everybody that's involved in the team this year, a larger roster. And so far, I see 41 of you have put in predictions overall, too. So good luck to all of you as we continue introducing everybody here. Always a pleasure to see my good friend here from the Wrestling Roundtable, from the Meltdown Wrestling League. And he is also All Elite, and he's a Celtics fan. Respect. James Hebert, I'm sure, adores that. Justin, welcome back to the All Elite City Predicting Wing of Things. How are you, and how you feeling about Sunday?
I'm good. And before I say how I am about Sunday, shout out to Sean Bally, who's actually in San Francisco for AEW Revolution this Sunday. So hopefully he has a great time at that pay-per-view. As far as this Sunday goes, there are some matches I'm looking forward to, and then there are some matches that could be like, okay.
That's fair enough. Again, that's what it means to be a wrestling fan, but you look at all the variety and the quantity and the quantity. Speaking of looking at all things wrestling, making his All Elite City Predicting debut. I believe it's his second time in the All Elite League, as I host it for the 4th time, too. A great friend of the NoDQ family, Galaxy, and the Nebula of Wrestling, Dwayne Atkinson. Dwayne, first off, glad to know you're feeling better, because I remember you were a little bit on the weather last time. It's good to see you once again. How you feel about Sunday's pay-per-view?
I'm feeling good, man. It's great to be back. I'm so looking forward to this. Again, like I said before we went on the air, I'm still debating whether I want to excited enough to fork out $50 or $60 for it, but I'm sure in the end I'm going to give in and did it, because like I said, we got a 16-man Iron Man match going on here. That should be enough to sell it right there. As far as probably adding more matches, I kind of doubt they were. They're going to probably keep it under 3 hours, and you still got one match going an hour at least. So
Exactly.
possibly if there's more matches added, there might be to the buy-in or whatnot. But I don't know. I'm ready to go.
All right, fair enough.
Knowing Tony Khan, they probably won't be putting that Iron Man match on until probably like midnight Eastern time, and whatever time it is going to be in San Francisco that time.
That's a fair take. Again, they are on the West Coast. This is the West Coast All Elite pay-per-view debut. They already had a heck of a kickoff for the Cow Palace, too. Why Sean Bully's there. Shout out to another great friend of mine, Cindy G, a.k.a. Sienna Chanel. Go follow her, folks, on Twitch. She also is there, and she is All Elite. She was not only there at the Cow Palace, she's there tonight at Rampage, and she also will be at the pay-per-view. So give her a follow, give her a like on her Twitch community, too, and support her friends over at Panda Wrestling Company on Twitch as well. All right, so without further ado, as I look at it again, and I want to remind everybody that your opinions matter too. Come join the fun. Let your opinions be known. Come join the league. The form is in the description down below. It'll also be on the ticker. I might even put it in the chat. You got till 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday night to make them final. And again, stay tuned for our watch-along reactions coverage on the Championship Network Multiverse Media with me and James Hebert. But that being said, enough pleasantries, enough introductions, and before weather could cause any other shenanigans for any of us, let's get right into it. So, yes, at this point, we have 8 matches. Yes, you heard me right. Single-digit number of matches for this pay-per-view. Considering one is an hour, I'm very thankful for that, too. But this is, of course, being done before the Go Home and Countdown AEW Rampage live edition tonight, and you know there's going to be a buy-in. So expect at least 2 or 3 more matches, and maybe we'll add them to the forum. Maybe we'll just talk about them. We'll see. It's kind of tricky to handle those situations. Now, as far as handling situations, you talk about getting $60, worth it in the end. Like I said, you only do this, 3 or 4 times a year, and you already got a 60-minute match, so there's your money right there. If y'all want to check out AEW Revolution, it's available, of course, on the Bleacher Report app or your cable cell provider and select movie theaters and Dave & Buster's across the country. If you're international, you can also find it on Fight, YouTube in your local area, DAZN, Preview.com, Sky, other providers across international markets. So if you get a chance, support AEW, check out the show yourself. Maybe it's your first, maybe it won't be your last. Maybe you'll just continue to do what I've done since day 0 and go along for the ride. So with that being said, let's talk about our first match here. When I think about going along for the ride, I think someone might be going for the last ride, preferably. It sounds like one person is finally to move forward, and as far as the past, very it. As we have a no-holds-barred fight here between Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and Christian Cage. Instant classic himself. I don't expect him to wear a turtleneck during this one. All right, well, this match pretty much writes itself. At this point, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, he has been emotionally challenged to pull the trigger and has refused to. He's refused to give in to, maybe his demons, it seems. And in the end, it's bit him in the butt, and Christian Cage has taken advantage. Christian Cage has not publicly said, you lack the grit, the determination, what it means to be and takes to be a champion and to hang in my industry. And as long as I'm here, you will never be a champion. It's one thing to beat a champion. It's another thing to become a champion. But we saw, with a tear in his eye, he dug a grave for one Christian Cage. Has he finally reached his breaking point? And will this saga between these two that really started all the way back at Double or Nothing, ironically enough, when it was the last 2 in the Casino Battle Royale in 2021, finally end things here. Justin, what do you think?
This is one of the matches I'm about. This rivalry needs to end, and it needs to end Sunday. Look, no offense to Christian Cage, no offense to Jungle Boy Jack Perry, but Jungle Boy Jack Perry needs to get away from this Christian feud. The only way we can do this one is if Luchasaurus comes back on Sunday and turns on Christian. So my prediction here is Jungle Boy is going to beat Christian with a little bit of help from his old friend Luchasaurus.
Okay, then. That's a hot take. And again, for those that are tuning in, whether live or on demand, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend across me and the Renegade JJ Williams YouTube channels. Shout out to those that put in the predictions so far, including not limited to Walter, Jeff Chadwick, who's not here, Charlene, Chumbawamba, James Hebert, Bacon Space, Will Ospreay Guy, Jargo, and of course, among many others too. Dwayne, a majority here do believe that Jungle Boy Jack Perry needs to get this win to move on. Do you agree, or do you have a different consensus? Could Luchasaurus come into play? We haven't seen him since Jungle Boy Jack Perry, I feel like, buried that part of his past inside Steel Cage AEW Full Gear. Does he make a return here, and does he still choose to be the right hand of destruction, or do we get some sort of a union and some closure? What's your take?
I don't think Luchasaurus needs to come back. Not not to be team back up with Jack Perry again. They should leave him on his own. He's already over, so he doesn't need Christian. He don't need Luchasaurus to help him. They've got the tag team titles before, so that's one notch on his belt he's already gotten. He needs single gold. This match here is going to probably move him up the ladder just a little bit more. But I don't see nobody else winning but Jack Perry in this one.
All right, there you go. And Chris, again, Christian Cage, instant classic. He's done it all. He is an opportunist. He's also a manipulator. He's made it extremely personal, bringing up, of course, late great Luke Perry, Jungle Boy's father, and literally his mother and, of course, their sister. And it wouldn't surprise me if the mother and sister, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, are at ringside. Do we finally end things with a concerto? Does something else come into play here, or what's your take? And do you agree with the group? Does Jungle Boy Jack Perry get the win and finally move on from Christian Cage?
Well, my thoughts is this is a no holds barred match. So
It's a fight.
anything is going to happen. I know Justin, he took what I was going to say, that Luchasaurus returns on Sunday to get that reunion and cost Christian Cage the match here. And I also agree with Dwayne Atkinson about putting singles gold on Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I do see that happening in 2023. I do believe that Jungle Boy is going to definitely become champion, possibly the TNT Championship or the All Atlantic Championship. I see him in the mid-carder for now. I don't see him as a main title picture just yet. So keep him in the mid card for now, and then work your way up and climb that ladder and be the top of the World Championship picture. As far as the winner goes, on the forum I picked Jungle Boy Jack Perry to win. I'm going to make it here tonight that I am going with Jungle Boy Jack Perry for the win. I do feel he needs this win more to help him get elevated and move on from this feud once and for all.
All right, so we're all unanimous there that Jungle Boy Jack Perry finally removes the last remnants of his past and move forward in his pursuit of singles gold. Whether or not it's mid-carder world title, that remains to be seen or told. All right, well, that seemed pretty simple enough. Now, maybe this match might seem simple, but honestly, this looks like a cluster, and I'm a little bit fickle, to put it in polite terms, because talk about a ridiculous four-way dance. As the AEW World Tag Team Championships are on the line, this time in a fatal four-way, as the Guns, the current champions, defend against Triple J, I'm Taurus Top, Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal against the former AEW Tag Team Champions, The Acclaim, against the team that qualified this Wednesday in the Casino Tag Team Battle Royale, the Best Friends, represented by the AEW Atlantic Champion, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy, and very nice, very evil, Danhausen. So, first off, I'm pretty sure I was not the only one that had their jaw dropped on Championship Fight Night when the Guns were able to dethrone The Acclaim, an organic act in AEW that seemed like the momentum was on fire and just got snuffed, as if the mic was just cut from the cable. And we've seen how they have obligatorily decided to cash in the rematch in this multi-team affair. I'm not sure what wise decision that was. We've seen tag team battle royals over these past couple of weeks, and somehow, some way, the Best Friends were eliminated by Triple J, Jay Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett with the assistance of insurance policy Satnam Singh. And then we saw this Wednesday, the Best Friends had a substitute due to not be medically cleared in Danhausen and Orange Cassidy on Danhausen's behalf. First pinfall submission gets the win here and comes out with the gold. Not much more needs to be said. The only thing I'm going to say, if we get champions in Triple J, it's almost like we're bringing back the dark days of TNA. That's all I got to say about that. And I'm not Max Caster, so do not expect any freestyle mic drop here. Plus, not copyright. That being said, before we went live, Dwayne, you wanted to go first on this, so go ahead, break it down, and give me a pick. Who you got?
On paper, this looks like it would have been a good match, and this is one match that I was thoroughly invested in from the beginning until Wednesday. Of all people in that battle royal they put in for this match, they put in Orange Cassidy, who had already, mind you, competed. And then you got that clown. I'm sorry, but I don't like Danhausen. I'm not a fan of his in the ring. Outside the ring, he's a good comedy act, but in my personal opinion, he's nothing more than a modern-day Dork the Clown. That's just what he is. But this is easy. To me, looking at it, this should be easy to predict. Number one, Tony Khan don't play hot potato with anything except the TNT title. So with the Guns just recently getting it, they're not dropping it. In fact, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. They're going to keep them belts because FTR owes them a big receipt. Was that me or?
I don't know.
No, that's me. My ESPN's going off.
All right. FTR owes them a big receipt coming for what they were done to them in the past. I do believe FTR is re-signing with the company and coming back, and they're holding them titles on the Guns until they come back and take them back from them. So my pick officially is the Guns winning it somehow.
All right. I mean, again, we did talk about how they're trying to step out of their dad's shadow, and that's a pretty large shadow to cast. So I think that's a fair play. Before I move to anybody else, please welcome to the panel, better late than never, James Hebert. James,
hello.
good to see you.
Hey, James.
Hello.
James, we are not that far off. We only talked about one match so far, and that was Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Christian Cage. We are now talking about the tag title. So if you want to give a quick pick for that no holds barred, go ahead. And why don't you go ahead and lead off next with this four-way dance?
All right. So that's what we'll do here. We'll do for Christian Cage and Jungle Boy. I think they've been waiting to blow this off for a while. They've already done the middle portion with him and Luchasaurus. And now we're down to Christian Cage and Jungle Boy. I genuinely believe that Jungle Boy is probably going to be the one to win here. I don't see them continuing this feud any longer, especially if it's a no-holds-barred match. This seems like a feud-ending match. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Looks like it's going to be a brutal one, to say the least.
So what's your take now, and I'm sure it's going to be a little different, on this four-way dance, as you now are current. What's your take on the AEW Tag Team Championship? So far, Dwayne believes that the Guns will retain. I feel like people want to see Acclaim rise back to fame. And then you have Triple J and the Best Friends, where Orange Cassidy is whatever.
I really don't know anymore. I think I picked the champions to retain because I'm like, yeah, they just got the belts on the Guns, and if it were the Acclaimed versus the Guns, I would have said, okay, the Guns were definitely retaining. I'm not really entirely sure, but I'm going to stick with the Guns to retain.
All right.
I personally hope they don't go with Jarrett and Jay. As much as I don't mind them, please don't. Just don't. And then also the Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, who are, by all accounts, a random team and had to be a replacement team, which is a good little story going in. But yeah, it was weird to say the least. The way they were booking that, I didn't agree with it when it started. I think they would have been better off just doing a one-on-one match or one-on-one rematch with the Acclaimed and the Guns, to be fair. But
right,
it is what it is. I just wish, personally, I look at the two battle royals they had. I think they should have done all they could to have the United Empire in this match and have FTR come back. I think if they were going to have a 4-way, that should have been the 4-way because that would have gotten the other two teams over huge in that match type. That's just me, though. But then you run into the issue of, okay, well, if FTR come back, they have to win. And
you're putting yourself in a corner there, James.
But I think it just would have been a better matchup. Plus, you could have gone right into a program between the Guns and FTR, which would be, honestly, I think, is more the money there. But yeah, yeah, that's really my thoughts on the whole tag team scenario. I think as good as the tag team division is, the way they booked this is a mess. To be honest,
I think that's a polite way and a polite consensus that many can agree on. Chris, believe it or not, everybody's got picks for all 4 teams, but the majority do believe the Guns will retain. 17 people, while second up to that, 12 people believe that the Acclaimed will regain. Do you have a simple take? Do you believe in Triple J? What's your thoughts, Chris?
My thoughts on this is I could care less about this tag team championship match whatsoever. Orange Cassidy, Dan Hassan, they were just thrown in the with a replacement. And yeah, those two are funny as all could be, but they are not winning this.
The last one we need is a double champion in AEW with AEW double gold. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, the Acclaim, I don't see them winning the belts here. If it was a singles match, the Guns versus the Acclaim, and keep the titles on the Acclaim, then I could have had Billy Gunn turn on the Acclaim and go back to his sons. But I see that happening, but when they did a Fatal 4A, which team's in it? I don't see Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lee for winning because it will not make sense to put the titles on them. Jeff Jarrett, he's getting up there, and I cannot believe he still got it.
Does he still got it?
But overall, on the forum, I picked the Guns to win. I'm going to stick to that. I feel the Guns are going to retain. They just won title not too long ago, and I don't see them losing here at all. If they're going to maybe drop the championships, I could see maybe Double or Nothing. They do the title change, or maybe on a random AEW show.
Yeah,
maybe. That's fair. I mean, again, whenever I look at multi-person affairs or multi-team affairs, Justin, I think about this. You got buffer, you got fall person. Here, you got maybe 2 buffers and 1 fall team to protect the rivalry ongoing, or do you have 2 fall teams and a buffer just to keep everybody entertained? I mean, yeah, the Guns, the Acclaim, that's at the heart of this. I don't think this is over by a long shot. I don't think it's even going to be over after this. You've seen the developing feud with the Best Friends and Triple J. Wouldn't surprise me if Sanjay's there with his pencil too, and that gets broken as well. But seriously, folks, we got Slapnuts, As Boys, and Scissoring. Why does this sound like a really bad PR advertising? That being said, Justin, what's your take on this? Again, we talk about hot potatoing towels. Yeah, only towel has been hot potato the most is the TNT towel since inception. We'll talk about that here shortly. But do you think that this was maybe a my bad call on Tony Khan, and he's using this 4-way to try and fix what he caused in this?
Yeah,
does he want the chance again, or what's going on here? What's your take?
Yes, I honestly think this is a bad call by Tony Khan to make this fatal 4-way. I'm not. Again, before we went on air, I said it loud and clearly. I'm not blaming Tony Khan for what he's doing. This is not what I'm doing. This should have been Guns versus the Acclaimed in a rematch. Not Guns, Acclaimed, Triple J, Danhausen, and Orange Cassidy. So
Yeah.
now we got the Ass Boys just won the titles. Oh, the Scissorin are going after the titles. Oh, but we can't have a tag team championship match without Triple J. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And we can't have a tag team championship match without Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. Yes, you can. You want to know what it's called? It's called actually good booking of a rematch. So, God damn it. I really hope we get
Tranquilo,
Gun.
brother. Tranquilo.
I really hope we get Gun Club versus the Acclaimed in a traditional rematch at Double or Nothing. I really hope that. If not, then Tony Khan, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but everybody's picking the Gun Club. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say the Acclaim gets the titles back.
And I agree with you because, again, I just feel like that was just such an odd call out of nowhere with the fact that this act did organically go over with the AEW faithful. And I feel that they were like on fire. I did not think that they were going to be the team. But we also do talk about the FTR factor, picking it up from Ring of Honor, Final Battle. FTR right now, they have been a no-show. The new era of Honor has officially begun. Heck of a kickoff, by the way, James. You haven't watched the episode yet. And you wonder if FTR are going to be AEW-centric or Ring of Honor-centric. Are they going to go back after maybe the Ultimo Dragon type of, dilemma and go after all the tag gold again, maybe from different companies like Impact and NWA? So not thinking about right now what isn't there. That could be a wild card heading back to Double or Nothing. They're back in Vegas. I think the Acclaim are going to get it back, and they are going to do some sort of, 2 out of 3 fall Double or Nothing type thing. Honestly, they might not even do it at Double or Nothing. They might even do it at Battle of the Belts. Keep in mind, the next Battle of the Belts is the weekend after WrestleMania. And we've seen them have the tag titles defended there too, including Triple J. They lost the Acclaim there. And it was freaking no disqualification. So, yeah, for me, though, personally, I want to see the Acclaimed regain. I just think the gun side of the gold right now makes no sense and kind of takes the division a bit backwards. It was a hot shot call, in my opinion. So that's my take. All right. Good stuff, everybody. Well, again, we wonder if the Acclaim will regain the gold. Will we see a resolution? Oh, what's up, James?
I just want to add, because I think, Justin, you said that I'm not blaming Tony Khan. Okay. Fuck it, I will.
Uh-oh.
What are we doing, Tony? Like, honestly, what are we doing? Like, if you're gonna do a 4-way, there was only 2 options. There really was. It was Aussie Open, because even though they were panned from New Japan, it builds up to Forbidden Door nicely, and it's FTR. Otherwise, why are you putting any other team in the Fatal 4-way? They don't make sense.
Right, and that's why I was saying this should have been the Acclaimed versus the Gun Clubs in a traditional rematch.
Yeah, I'm blaming Tony all day long there. Tony deserves the blame there. That was just really haphazard booking.
Well,
and honestly, that's the only haphazard
AEW
booking out of this entire thing.
That's true.
Honestly.
I maybe he just got overworked. I don't know. I mean, again, you look at the live edition of Rampage coming tonight, the 4-way dance there. It's Top Flight, Dark Order, Blackpool Combat Club, and Aussie Open.
And for the record, the issue that I have is that they didn't like, certain people didn't like the first tag match that they had. I want to know why he's taking everything into consideration and trying to please everybody there. Because the only people that I've heard not like that match is Jim Cornette, and his opinion's been outdated since 2006. So, who shit?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit what Cornette thinks? Like, why are you booking this so haphazardly? Because one guy out of the entire IWC said, "Oh, this match sucked." I enjoyed it. It was fucking fine. It wasn't the greatest tag match in the world, but it was a fine angle. It could have set up for a better match down the line.
Yeah,
it's a fair take, but again,
I don't get it. That's my.
I don't think we're meant to, but I feel that the common sense is here, though, is that at the right now in the tag title picture, it's Acclaim and Gun Club, and they should have just kept it to that versus expanded out into this multi-person affair where you got a mid-card feud now involving a tag title match. And I'm also just going to say this before we officially move on.
And no, before you do,
better.
And no, before we do move on, I just want to agree with you on one thing.
Go for it.
I do agree with you that if the Acclaim does not get the titles back on Sunday, they need to get it back either Battle of the Belts or Double or Nothing. I don't care where the Acclaim needs it back because the Gun Clubs. Fuck it, no.
Well, okay. Not necessarily. They don't need to win the tag titles back because we know the Acclaimed are over regardless. I don't think they necessarily need to. And if we're gonna be fully blunt here, I think FTR needs the freaking tag belts more than freaking the Guns do at this current point. I don't think
agree.
There is no other team that needs it more if they're gonna stay around than FTR.
All right.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the gun. Well, I say the Guns, but the Acclaimed. Not only are they a tag team now, but they have that trio element also with Daddy Ass. So they could realistically challenge for the trio titles and maybe not necessarily win right away, but that's an option as well. Again, they're over. They're in a situation now where you could put them in any capacity and they'll be over. You could put, whether it's in singles, tag, or trios, they're going to be over. They are fine. They are very young also, and they're as over as they are. And we're probably, I will say it's probably cooled down a little bit, but not significantly to where, we should be worried. FTR is a whole different animal. They have cooled down significantly since they lost all their titles and since the Guns buried them on the air. And since the Brawl Out thing happened, let's just call a spade a spade. Now, obviously, that thing has been worked out now.
Yeah, let's not go down that road again.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be showing Punk on advertisements. But even then, it's like that took a long time for it to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also FTR, again, they worked relentlessly, nonstop, literally representing 3 different companies that they were champions for and a 4th company that they weren't champion for. So maybe it wasn't able just to give them a short-term break. Again, your body and your mind can only take so much. This business is both equally mentally and physically. So as far as top guys, they're always top guys, but even top guys need a break from the top, even if it's not directly the top of where they're at. But we can talk more about that later. Maybe FTR makes a surprise comeback. Maybe we'll see something like that unfold at Revolution.
Who knows? Yeah, I wanted to bring that. I just wanted to bring that to the ether.
I get that. And again, anybody could interfere. Anyone could come to ringside. And this next match, though, that's not going to be the case for a particular group known as the Jericho.
Oh wait, did Dwayne give his thoughts on the tag match?
He did. Off before you began, and pretty much it's Dwayne Guns, Chris Guns, James Guns, Justin, and me. We're with the Acclaim. Justin, I'm not going to scissor you. That being said,
whoa.
Let's go ahead and move forward from there because I don't want to go down this proverbial Office Max aisle. Okay? Okay. Although that would be extremely entertaining, I guess, but that would leave us on this match for another 15 minutes. Well, let's go ahead and see if sports entertainment outdoes professional wrestling. Or do we finally get some absolute resolution at Revolution with this feud, for Pete's freaking sake? As Ricky Starks. He's Ricky Starks, man. Ricky Starks goes once again one-on-one against the Ocho, Chris Jericho. But this time, everyone is banned from ringside. Again, this goes back to the beginning of the year where Ricky Starks got the very first win of the new era of AEW at the expense of the first AEW World Champion, Chris Jericho. Since then, he's been stuck in the Jericho Appreciation Society vortex, and he's basically beaten everybody in the group, or at least survived and endured them. We saw what happened this past Wednesday, so typical booking for me indicates that for me, Ricky Starks is going to move on and get the win here with Double or Nothing. Maybe Chris Jericho comes up with a ploy, and then they literally do something Double or Nothing. I can't think how many times Jericho has lost in a feud 2 matches in a row, and it went to a third. I also don't think that every feud in wrestling needs to have a trios to have a full story. But that being said, I think I've given enough foreshadowing because at the end of the day, I believe they are literally, in Jericho's position especially, grooming, guiding, and shaping their roster with the next generation of incredibly young talent. Ricky Starks is one of them. He covers all the boxes. And to think, before Jericho, he was facing MJF for the AEW World Championship last year. Winter is coming. Damn good effort. That being said, let's start with you, Justin. Because we're going to finally put this behind him in an absolute way. Or once again, does Jericho once again prove that you can't outsmart the Ocho and sports entertainment superior to pro wrestling?
I'm sticking with Ricky Starks here. And I just think that the way that Ricky Starks couldn't get his match with Chris Jericho in the first place at this pay-per-view was genius in my take, because I do condemn Tony Khan on, because I had a feeling that Ricky,
you mean commend Tony Khan on?
yeah, commend,
Yeah, because condemn means, oh, this sucked.
yeah,
Hey,
sorry.
look, hey, words are sometimes hard. He does words okay. Continue. Justin.
Yeah, commend, condemned. Either way, kudos to Tony Khan on this one.
Fair enough.
Because I had a feeling that when we got to Phoenix, Arizona, Ricky Starks was going to come out and be like, okay, well, if I can't get Chris Jericho one more time in a match, then I'm gonna have an open challenge for anybody that wants it. What do you know? Here comes Chris Jericho. Here comes the Ocho. Here comes whatever the hell you want to call him in any type of way.
Got more names
So yes,
than right down the list of Jericho. That's for sure. That go.
Oh, and the one thing, the pen thing, yeah, it kind of brought me back to the WWE days when he was like, "You made the list and everything." So
exactly.
yeah,
That was one of his best gimmicks right there.
absolutely,
I agree.
Absolutely.
He brought it one time in AEW, but I forgot what he called it.
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll figure
I know what
it
you
out.
talked. There's a French name.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, whatever that was. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was funny. Anyway, continue, Justin.
I do like the fact that everybody's banned from ringside.
Well, as far as we know.
Does it exactly? That's why I'm going to bring this up. Does it happen? Absolutely not. There's going to be a way that Jericho Appreciation Society gets involved in this match.
Bar none.
Bar none, yes. But as of right now, I'm going Ricky Starks to finally end Chris Jericho.
Alrighty. Chris, like I said, Ricky Starks, he is one of the guys that truly is the now. He is not the future. He is absolute. But again, can he absolutely put Chris Jericho in the rearview mirror? What's your take?
Well, who is the majority going for, by the way?
Oh, well, that's pretty simple. 75% went with Ricky Starks. 31 out of a total of 41 people. 10 people went with the Ocho.
Smart people.
Well, I know it's good that everybody is banned from ringside. And I know Jericho Appreciation Society, I feel like they're going to try to get involved here, try to help Chris Jericho out. But back of my head is saying about, yeah, everybody's banned from ringside, but what about Action Andretti?
Well, we talk about outside parties. I mean, you might be onto something, but I actually have a surprise for you all. Because Simply Predicting has grown into a form it has, I like to encourage others to join in the fun. So please welcome for the first time ever to Simply Predicting, even for a short term, representing the Mr. Warren Hayes Show, ladies and gentlemen, Warren Hayes himself.
Oh, wow. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Warren, how are you?
Hi, bro. Didn't expect this.
Good to see you. Justin, James, Dwayne, Chris. This is Mr. Warren Hayes. He is an all-around great friend that I've come to know in the wrestling community, and he looks at all fans wrestling too. Me and him chat a little bit. I finally invite him to the All Elite Forum too. So, Chris, not to interrupt you, but go ahead and finish your take, and then Warren, I'd like to get your rebuttal on this match as well. And welcome to Simply Predicting. Go ahead.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the invite. Nice to meet all of you. And
Nice to meet you.
Please go on.
Personally, Warren, is nice to meet you. And you're more than welcome to come on the Simply Predicting from here on now.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate it.
Okay, now let me get back to Action Andretti here. That is
If you
playing.
can still walk.
That is playing in my back mind, knowing that he and Ricky Starks were like helping each other out here. I wouldn't be surprised if Action Andretti cost Ricky Starks
Oh, Lord.
the match and he joins the JAS with Chris Jericho. That was like on my mind since yesterday.
I'll add to your point, Chris, because I'm so glad you said it. Now it's not just coming from me. Noah, what have I been saying on AEW Spark every week on Owen's channel for like the last 3 weeks?
Action Andretti turns and joins the Jericho Society.
Exactly. And I'm to add to his point, and by the way, I did originally have Ricky Starks because I'm like, I must have not have been thinking that day. I just changed it now to Jericho.
Fair take.
I'm going to add because
the old show because you believe there's going to be another member and the JS is going to grow as big as the NWO.
And here's the other thing. If you guys want to check out AEW Spark, we review all content every week on Owen's channel, cheap plug, right? I've been saying Jericho on Rampage this week it may have been this week or last week on Rampage. Definitely last week. Yeah. He was very unusually complimentary of Action Andretti.
Right.
Very unusually complimentary as he's having a match with, Jericho and everything. Now, I know Sammy Guevara, he did his 6:30 thing or whatever off the top of the ladder this week, but it's sports entertainment. This is going to be a Russo-style swerve if I had ever seen one. So they're trying to sway you from the direction of he's not joining, right? But I know how this goes because the entire gimmick of the Jericho Appreciation Society is it's all Vince McMahonisms in one gimmick. That's the whole gimmick of this team. So if you pay attention to the little details of them doing stuff like, I don't like you and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden he starts complimenting him out of nowhere, you pick up those hints, eventually and then you see that he turns. Right. You'll notice something's amiss, especially after the dude just beat him and embarrassed him on live television. Now all of a sudden he's complimenting him on Rampage, on commentary, unbiasedly, somewhat.
He also has not done that whole Sports Entertainer of the Week thing for a few weeks too, so maybe he has been stunning. Also saying no one outsmarts the old show. Chris Jericho, master of character reinvention, 30 years still in the game. Chris, James, you may be onto something, but I still believe that Ricky Starks needs to move forward, and I don't need to see NWO recreated in All Elite Wrestling. That's just my thing. Because how many members we got right now? Allow me to pull out the list. No, I'm not doing that.
Hulk Hogan comparatively to Action Andretti, they're both the same thing.
Yeah, except Action Andretti is not going to get trash thrown at him in the middle of a ring while Tony Schiavone's in there with him. It's making his declaration. But I see right now we got 2 for the old show and 2, including me, for Absolute Ricky Starks. So, Warren, let's go ahead and get your first ever Simply Predicting take on Simply Predicting. What's your thoughts towards this match, and how do you see the outcome playing out?
I am really excited with what they're doing with Ricky Starks. One of the issues I found that with AEW is, when they start something, and this is not necessarily across the board, but oftentimes they'll start something really interesting with a wrestler, but the follow through is a little complicated, gets a little more difficult. And you could always tell that Tony really likes Ricky and wanted to make something out of Ricky. So when Ricky Starks had his AEW World Title match against MJF just at the end of the year, I was biting my fingers a little bit. I'm like, okay.
Go to a draw, go to TV time, dang it.
It's like, what are we doing here kind of thing? But the follow-up because if anything, Ricky Starks showed that he could look. I can go up here on the world title scene with these dudes, and I can hang there. And I'm continuing with Chris Jericho, one of the greatest of all time. I'm on TV every week. I'm sorry, I just jumped in. Raise of hands. How many people use the term Jericho Vortex here?
I do not.
Okay.
Not for Jericho. I've used Vortex for other terms, but not particularly for Jericho. But
Okay,
when you're
good.
in some of it Jericho, you kind of are stuck in the center of Elohim.
But there's the thing, right? It's like I know there's a lot of people who get really, really annoyed at Chris Jericho sort of monopolizing someone into a program, and they're like, oh, he's stuck in there, he can't get out. Ricky Starks has been on television practically every week, right?
Yes.
On my Discord, previous to this last year, I had people going time after time. Where's Ricky Starks? Why aren't they doing anything with Ricky Starks? We love Ricky Starks. They should push Ricky Starks.
They had nothing created for him,
and now it's all of a sudden, oh, this is bullshit.
It's too much Jericho involvement.
Yeah, no. Listen, there's no Jim Cornette supporter here. Okay, don't worry about it.
Regardless, right? It's a weird argument. It's a weird argument to get mad when someone is constantly on TV, winning big time matches, pinning Chris Jericho clean as a whistle,
right?
And somehow what's going on right now is problematic. Personally, I don't understand. I honestly don't, because the guys on TV is getting great reactions from the crowd. They're putting him at the 9 p.m. spot to cut promos, do matches. Come on now. At some point, we just have to be sensible. I feel like a lot of people don't like Chris Jericho, and that's warranted. We can't control personal feelings. That's a whole other thing.
Right.
But at some point, we just have to be objective and have proper analysis here. This has been working for Ricky Starks. Now, if I'm booking this show, which I'm not, but if I'm booking this show, Ricky Starks wins decisively once again. Again, clean as a sheet. That, to me, this is the only outcome. Personally, if the Action Andretti thing, because I've seen that theory float around quite a bit. If it does happen, I think it's going to be weird. But again, it is a sports entertainment gimmick, so in that idea, it does make sense. Like we was literally just explained, so that's fine. And so I get it, but I would much rather have Ricky Starks just break away from this, move on to something else, and continue his ascent, and have Chris Jericho and the JAS work with other people to get something else, get some more juices flowing. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the way he transitioned from Ricky Starks after the program with Kyle Castagnoli, and you also think about, what he did with Orange Cassidy during the pandemic, and how that ended in a match that was, well, it wasn't even about sports entertainment, but it was sports entertainment-centric. Pulls a mimosa. You think about the program with Eddie Kingston. There is those things where it's like each time he redefines himself a little bit from a presentation standpoint, but it does help the other guy a little bit. As far as Eddie Kingston thing goes, we all saw how that ended with the Shark Tank and barbed wire thing, but that's a whole other, that's an asterisk. Fair take, Warren, but I'm glad to see you with me and Justin, where we think there should be absolute resolution at Revolution. Wayne, you close this match out. What's your thoughts? Do you have the Ocho outsmarting Ricky Starks here? Does someone else join the Jericho Society, or does Ricky Starks move forward?
First of all, going back to what we was talking a while ago, it was the Lexicon of Le Champion.
The Lexicon, thank you. Could not remember that for the life of me.
I had to do a lot of digging to find that.
Thank you.
Pretty much Chris took everything I had in mind. No, man, I'm not mad. I like the way he thinks. Nobody outsmarts Chris Jericho, and he wouldn't have agreed to this match if he already didn't have something already up his sleeve.
Exactly.
So I don't know if I want to go with Action Andretti costing the match. Though I do like that idea. I've entertained the idea of him turning heel, but I don't. Is he ready yet? Is he ready to make that turn just yet? But we shall see. My final pick is Jericho.
All right, fair enough. And I know people also brought one other name before we move on. one Paul White because Jericho was once a thing, and I know Jericho was working on getting that trademark, but
that's
we do
one
not
man I didn't even
need
think
a
about.
Paul White heel turn AEW to rival the high score of heel turns by Big Show and
Well, no.
WWE.
No, it's okay.
I
It's
need to-
okay. It's
I
okay.
need-
It's been 3 years. It's okay.
I need to add one thing. How many times in WWE has Big Show turned heel and then turned face?
He did it twice in one night. Within 2 minutes, as a matter of fact.
Dude said
So we don't need this we don't need it in AEW.
The dude said it himself. Paul White said it himself. He's had more turns than NASCAR. So in honor of that, I'm just gonna do the meme. I'm just gonna do the meme real quick. He did another heel turn. Oh my god, he did another heel turn. Oh my god, it's another face turn. Oh, there it is, a face turn again.
Lap 147 of 250.
Now he's a tweener. It's going left, right. Nobody knows.
Oh man.
Well, you know it's going in one direction, if nothing else.
That's funny.
Well, anyway, let the spinning wheel turn.
All right,
all
I'll be
right.
right back because I got to help my dad with groceries, so I'll be off camera for a bit.
Oh, okay, so you're going to go dark. Well, I'm going to go black as I talk about the house always wins. Let's talk about the AEW Trios Championships as the Elite, Kenny, by God, Omega, and the Young Bucks, the current AEW Trios Champions. They now defend the gold against the House of Black. Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King. And what's interesting about this is the fact that right now the House of Black are using mentality, saying that fear is the greatest strength, not manifested physically. We've always won, and we've already won. Did they technically? Yeah, we saw the bit at the end of Dynamite, and, well, first off, I'm just glad to see House of Black's actually involved in something creative for a pay-per-view. Dadgummit, one of the most underrated trios book, I digress, of 4 people. I don't see this being a one-off, but I kind of wish this was more subjugated into 2 matches. I'd rather have seen Kings of the Black versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus Buddy Matthews. You could even put the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship on the line. Really give us like a showcase. I cannot believe how underutilized Buddy Matthews has been in AEW. That's a crime to me. But for me, I do think right now that the Elite are going to retain. I just don't see them hot-shotting after what they gave NBA eccentric Best of 7 series with the Death Triangle that ended just in January. I don't see them hot potatoing the Trios Champions yet. I see this being a longer-term program with the House of Black. And the House of Black are going to set a statement at the expense of the Elite. So either way, the House always wins, proverbially. But I don't see them coming out with the gold. Warren, let's kick you off with this. What's your thoughts on the Trios Championships and the House of Black and this fear manifestation they're pushing, and how could that maybe come into play?
Look, I think this is, I have very high expectations for this match, like very, very, very high expectations. I would assume everyone around here does as well.
I think we know what these 6 people are capable of doing, let alone what they're going to do on pay-per-view. But continue.
Exactly. But for real, like that's exactly it. I mean, we know exactly what type of caliber of wrestlers are involved in this. So, personally, my expectations here are really high because this absolutely has the potential to be the match of the night. I think it's practically written in the sky at this point. And as for the setup for the match and so on, it's like, look, this is the 5th title match that they have on the card, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
One could argue, just for argument's sake, just for chit chat, that between all 5 titles, this is maybe the one that has the least amount of prestige, in the sense that they're brand new titles. They don't have history. They don't have, they still smell like they're fresh out of the box, kind of thing.
Pretty much.
So, for a match that's 5th from the top, let's say, if we're doing it that way, for a match that's 5th from the top, I thought the build was fine. I think the build was absolutely fine to it, especially since this is one of those that practically sells itself. But here's what I'm thinking, and this is what I'm expecting. in regards to this. We've noticed Tony sometimes in his pay-per-views, he likes to book certain matches as not as opposed to ending a feud. It will be the kickoff to a feud, to a storyline, an angle anyway.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm expecting here. Like I feel there's a lot more juice to wring out of this fruit here. That makes sense. So we're going to have this match, but I think we're going to get some further matches moving into Dynamite as we get closer and closer to Double or Nothing. I don't think this one is quite over, and we're going to be rewarded for that. And of course, there's the whole story. There's the Kenny Omega rumors on top of that, and all this. So it's going to be interesting. Like if the Elite lose, which I don't think they will. I think they're going to retain. But if they lose, oh boy, there's going to be a lot of discussion going around from that point on. It's going to be a lot of talk. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this match. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, there you go. He took the words again, like right out of my mouth. And a lot of people, Justin, majority believe that the Elite will retain. Basically, it's 2-1. 27 believe, 15 think that the House of Black will gain the gold. But again, House of Black, they don't need to be champions to win. That's kind of the whole proverbial nature of their showcasing and their booking. So again, I think this is something again to go maybe all the way to Double or Nothing, where the House of Black fully establish themselves at the expense of Death Triangle, who by the way have been no Pac, no Lucha Brothers involved at all towards these titles since the Best of 7 series was concluded. But what's your take on what could really be chapter 1 of this new Trigo storyline?
First of all, I'm glad. I liked how you said, well, they just ended what the NBA does of the Best of 7 series. I kudos to you on that, good sir. So, no, the Best of 7 series for the trios title was good, but Tony Khan kind of gave us what the last 3 matches of those series was going to be. But I digress there. As far as the House of Black goes, they're not winning the titles on Sunday. The build was good. The build was all right, but there wasn't much build to this. Like they
need a whole lot. Just saying.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Time span.
Right, no, absolutely. They just show up and they're like, okay, we want you for the trio title. That's it. Tony Khan books it. Good. The next time that they meet though for these titles, the next time that they meet for them, there needs to be a bigger build for this, and thankfully we got Double or Nothing come up like in less than 3-4 months, whenever that pay-per-view is announced. But yeah, no, I see the Elite walking out of San Francisco with the still trios champions because they just won the titles in California. They're not going to lose the titles in California.
All right. Dwayne, this pretty much has been kind of teased since the House of Black made their return and went all-out war against everybody at AEW. Brandon Cutler just, a victim of just business. And we kind of just saw this brewing, just waiting to happen. So I'm very curious to see what could come out of this. So besides the fact that maybe you also believe that the champ's going to retain, what do you see coming out of this trios match?
First of all, I already predicted when the Elite got the titles back that the House of Black was going to probably be the ones to dethrone them. I don't think this is going to be a one-off match at all. This is going to lead to hopefully a good storyline to come. At least a series of matches of some sort. I don't want another Best of 7 gimmick style matches anyway.
That's fair.
I do think eventually they're going to get it. I don't think it's time for the Elite to lose them just yet. Like Warren said, these titles are still new, so you can still feel the newness on them. Give them a couple months with a good build to it. Like Justin says, I think they're going to eventually take them, but just not Sunday. The Elite's winning it.
All right. Chris, again, Kenny Omega's also IWGP United States champion. Could maybe a match for that title come out of this? Could we get Kings of the Black Throne versus the Young Bucks, or could some other formations of matches come out of this? Could maybe somebody from the House of Black past get involved here and try and subjugate this even further into a whole a different direction? What's your take on this trios match?
Well, I know Justin brought up about Double or Nothing. On pay-per-view, it's going to be announced on Sunday, and that is going to take place during Memorial Day weekend. That will be taking place on Sunday, May 28th.
The fifth Double or Nothing, where it all began. Let's freaking go.
So Justin, that's to answer your question. As far as this trios championship match, the Elite and Death Triangle, they had an unbelievable best of 7 seats. Every match lead us to think is there gonna be another one, and
Don't call it a comeback, LeBron James.
DJ Khaled.
Yeah, thank you, James. Personally, I listen to DJ Khaled all the time, and my favorite song from him is "All I Do Is Win." That's my favorite song from DJ
And
Khaled.
they said it out. All right, come on.
I'll just say this, and then you can continue with your thought. Got it. All right, continue.
Thank you, continue.
I don't think the House of Black is gonna win this match. I see the Elite retaining. I did pick them in the forum, and I'm sticking to the Elite. I'm looking at Double or Nothing here. And I know we brought up about FTR. If they're coming back, that's fine. Or if FTR says we're not going to AEW, we're going back to WWE and being under the Triple H regime, I'll be all for it. I know we're going to get their old gimmicks in WWE, the revival again. So if that does happen, I feel they're going to be booked properly. But if they do sign back with AEW, then I'm looking at a potential Trios Tag Team Championship match at Double or Nothing featuring FTR. FTR does not need to go for those AEW Tag Team Champions. I'm actually looking at the Elite defends the Trios Championships at Double or Nothing against FTR and the returning CM Punk.
That makes history in Vegas once again.
Wow,
All right.
that would be cool.
That would be. That's money. I like the idea. I'm not gonna lie. I like the idea. Ever since I saw Tanahashi go face to face with CM Punk and FTR at his side, I was like, what could these three men do in the professional wrestling industry together, heel or face? What could have been, but yet has not been, but still could be? It's a fair take, Chris. But again, still. Outside factor, could we get a return at Revolution? Could we get a new signing at Revolution? Because Tony Khan lets us do that too. You might be, and again, the fifth Double or Nothing, where it all began. I say Double or Nothing is their biggest show of the year because that defined the AEW brand, period. So for a big marquee match like that to be booked, that's a really good strategy. But it sounds like regardless, though, you still have the Elite retaining.
Yes, I definitely have the Elite retain, and I feel that's going to be the money match at Double or Nothing.
All right, and then we'll see what happens with the House of Black out of that. CM Punk versus Malachi Black. I mean, they train together.
That would be, honestly, I ain't even going to lie, that would be kind of based.
Well, James, you're the one left, so what's your thoughts on this trios match and what you think could come out of it, CM Punk or not involvement? Post.
This is a rough one because I could see it going either way, but ultimately I think it's just too soon for the Elite to be losing the trios titles this soon. So I find out somehow, or the Elite will find a way somehow to pick up the win, retain the titles, and move on to their next opponents. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things they need to do to build up this trios division. Well, hopefully not sacrificing the tag team division any more than they have done already. So we'll see what kind of happens there. But I don't think you do that with the Elite losing them this soon. I think a lot of people argue that it shouldn't have been the Elite. I'm like, I disagree. I think the Elite should have been the picks. It's just it took a while to eventually get a proper run going because
Shenanigans.
yeah,
Shenanigans. That we've
happened.
all moved past. And Ken Omega's made it perfectly clear on Sessions, and so has Tiebreaker DMD, on Wrestling, and so has other people, parties in, out of this thing, neutrally, fans, analysis, us included. The past is the past. Hopefully everybody's matured and move on from that.
Agreed.
In and out. All right, but it seems like unanimous, though. We say that the house always wins, but as far as the goal, the Elite's going to retain. All right. Well, since we talked about a trios affair, let's talk about an actual triple threat affair. And the only showcase, and I still cannot believe they don't have anything for Jade Cargill, and the only showcase for the AEW women's division, as I'm a hater. The AEW Women's World Champion, Jamie Hayter, defends the gold against Ruby Soho and Saraya, who keeps saying this is her house, but I think she is still looking for the actual keys from the landlord. And I'm not talking about Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. What I like about this is that Ruby Soho has remained neutral. She has one focus in mind, and that is the prize. And that is the AEW Women's World Championship. This will be her second chance to go after the title. Remember, when she first came in, she took on the friend of the killer, the pillar, Dr. Bricker DMD at Grand Slam. Lost. Saraya, in the short haul she's been involved here, she's now been trying to make sure that people respect and recognize her star power, and that she is the one that should be leading this whole thing. And you would think, ever since that personal promo where she poured her heart out against that Bricker DMD, talking about what she's gone through publicly, it was like, this is the ultimate underdog babyface. We want to get behind her. Boy, have things turned since the new year, since that match at AEW Full Gear. We've seen Toni Storm and Saraya run roughshod against the AEW originals, so they call them. But Ruby Soho is a runaway, not original. She's kind of in between. So, does this match foreshadow where Ruby Soho truly has her allegiance to? Her friends or AEW? Does Breaker DMD maybe make dark intentions be known, or does the Kill and the Pillar still stand for what they believe in and what they have homegrown since day one particularly? Does Saraya use Toni Storm to her advantage? Does Saraya give us the shock of the year so far and become the AEW Women's World Champion? I say it all the time. In triple threats, you got a buffer, you got a fall person. There's an underlying story going on here that could involve multiple women at once, or there could be the underlying long-term storytelling of finally maybe Pillar versus Killer. Because at the all-out, Full Gear Scrum, Jamie Hayter says, yeah, I welcome facing Britt. I'm fine with that. And they've even said in sit-downs with JR, it's not like we need each other, but we have a common, let's just say, common outlook so far on the landscape of the AEW Women's Division. And right now it works better with us being together for our own means. I'm simply going to say this. I'm a hater. I met who became the AEW Women's World Champion eventually. Jamie Hayter's retaining this thing one way or another, okay? Right now, she is the most prolific female figure, not named Jade Cargill, that I feel rightfully fits the AEW Women's World Championship. And she's proven it to the masses ever since breaking out AEW All Out last year. Jamie Hayter ain't losing this strap. Period. Simple as that. Chris, what's your thoughts on this match?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth. In triple threat, you have a buffer and you have a fall person. Saraya, she just got onto the scene here in AEW. And personally, I'm enjoying Saraya. She's my favorite in AEW. I'm not going for her on Sunday. Because it's too early for Saraya to have championship gold.
I don't think she's had double-digit matches yet overall in AEW.
So I look at Jamie Hayter and Ruby Soho. Where does Ruby Soho's allegiance lie in? That's where I'm kind of saying, is she going to be on her own? Is she going to be with Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker, or is she going to be with Toni Storm and Saraya? I feel Ruby should just be on her own and just be herself. and
I
not
agree.
have to worry about which side are you on. Because I'm not liking that right now with Ruby Soho. As far as who I picked,
That here's the moment.
in the forum, I picked Jamie Hayter to retain here. And on the video, I am making that happen. I am going with Jamie Hayter to walk out and retain the AEW Women's World Championship. If you're looking at double or nothing here, I believe there's two options you go with. Number one, I think if Thunder Rosa can get herself cleared, you get Thunder Rosa back, and you do Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter at Double or Nothing for
Battle
the
of the Belts
AEW
rematch.
Women's World Championship. Or if that match doesn't happen, then I believe you pull the trigger. I think you pull the trigger as soon as you can, and you make Double or Nothing Jamie Hayter versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, for the AEW Women's World Championship.
The very first signing for the AEW Women's Division that was involved in the very first Double or Nothing. As we talk about the 5th anniversary of Double or Nothing. Again, big money card, big money match. That's the biggest money match currently I can see in the AEW Women's Division. A very fair take, Chris. And I didn't think about Thunder Rosa yet, because, yeah, I don't know when she's going to be back, but clearly we know she's going to be back. And Jamie Hayter and Thunder Rosa had past history. Thunder Rosa beat Jamie Hayter, defending the gold against her one time on Battle of the Belts. Quite a stiff contest. Dwayne, Sean Garner, I mean, you can take what you will about the Riot Squad and who won a title first. Liv Morgan went at it for 8 years only in WWE, and she had a good run, and then she met somebody named Ronda Rousey. As far as Ruby Soho goes, Ruby Soho, she found herself once again outside WWE, and whether she has the tower or not, she has become a key focal point of this women's division since being a part of this thing. Most recently being involved in a ridiculous street fight alongside another friend of hers, Willow Nightingale, against Anna Jay and Ty Mello. We haven't seen either one of them since, and I do wonder again if Willow and Soho will continue to be a tag team AEW, or will Willow now more focus on Ring of Honor? But that's a whole different sub-tangent. So, Sean, the Riot Squad, yeah, take them for what you are. And Sarah Logan is Viking Queen. That's a thing. Although Sarah Logan was like one of the ones I was like underrated, but anyway. But Dwayne, what's your thoughts towards this triple threat of women's picture? Do you see Britt Baker, Toni Storm get involved here? Does Willow maybe get involved on Ruby's behalf? By the way, I miss Rebel, not Reba. Just saying that. But what's your take on this triple threat women's tag team title match? Or women's triple threat world title match?
This is the one that I was probably torn in a lot about. Looking at the card alone, I felt like one title's probably changing hands. And right now,
how many titles are on this card? That's a fair take.
I've been leaning towards it, but at the last second, I got to thinking, if you look at just based off championship runs right now, besides Jade Cargill, Jamie Hayter's probably the one who's next to lose the title anyway, I think. Ooh. But I think, like you said, you got a buffer, you got a fall person. I think, quite frankly, Ruby Soho or something's going to botch and take out Hayter by accident, and they're going to come in there and Soraya's going to sneakily get a sneak pin, so to speak, and win that title. I don't think they're going to turn her heel just to lose in her first championship match. I think she's going to take this title.
Wow, I did not see that coming from you. Justin, overall, more people are haters and believe she's going to hit hard. 78%. But there is 14% that picked Saraya and 7% did pick Ruby Soho. Justin, where do you stand on the leader of the AEW women's division as women's world champion? At least in these three.
First of all, we you can never count out that there's a possible chance that Jade Cargill somehow finds her way onto this pay-per-view. That's gonna happen probably during Rampage tonight. I don't know.
I could see that. Open challenge. Why not?
I could too. as far as this goes, oh, as much as I want to pick Ruby, as much as I want to pick Saraya, I'm not going to. I'm I'm gonna stick with Jamie Hayter because there is a chance, a good chance, that at the 5th anniversary of Double or Nothing, Britt Baker's gonna snap and finally challenge her bestie, so she says, Jamie Hayter, to a
A friendly title match, quote
I
unquote.
want to say a last women's stand-in match for the AEW Women's World Championship at Double or Nothing. So I'm gonna say Jamie Hayter gets the win in San Francisco, but don't be surprised if Britt Baker comes out tonight and comes out on Sunday and snaps on Jamie Hayter.
I could see the subtle turn and jealousy and ego, kayfabe-wise, come into play after the pay-per-view because it still feels like they're going hot with this angle of AEW ingrown versus the AEW incoming, to put it in more layman's terms. I also think about how many people talk about Forbidden Door, that announcement, not yet, no day. Could you finally get Stardom taking on not just the Joshi Pro talent, taking on maybe the AEW Women's World Champion? Jamie Hayter has former Stardom background, part of Oedo Tai. I could definitely see them trying to set up something with her and Stardom just cause. Again,
Actually, it's a good thing. It's a good thing you
champion during the pandemic. They get a chance to defend it.
Right, it's a good thing you brought up Forbidden Door because from what I know, as of right now, it's being reported that that Forbidden Door will take place June 24th. Where, we don't know, but as of right now, it's June 24th.
It needs to
All
be in
right, well, we'll see
Tokyo.
when that's made official by Bossman himself because
Oh,
I'm one
yeah.
of those where Cian is
I
leaving.
would definitely love to see that in Tokyo.
I agree. I think
Yeah, the Tokyo Dome.
That'd
Yeah.
be really cool.
Yes,
Tokyo, it needs to be Tokyo.
I mean, you saw Keiji Muto's last match for the Tokyo Dome by Pro Wrestling Noah. It outdrew Wrestle Kingdom. I'm just saying. A Forbidden Door in the Tokyo Dome could very well outdrew that. But that's a hot take.
Yep.
Warren, what's your thoughts on this AEW women's triple threat? And what do you think it could lead to, particularly for any individuals involved or not involved here? I feel at one point, my colleague James here, you might not know this, he is a huge fantasy booking guy. He thinks this might be foretell maybe for the first ever women's blood and guts. What's your thoughts?
No, I think that's the impression I got when they started the angle as well. When they started doing, the faction and splitting. Oh, okay. They made a little peek behind the curtain here. So yeah, I think that's entirely a possibility. I am not a fan of multi-person matches for titles. I really am not. It's a huge pet peeve of mine. Heat up a challenger. Heat up one challenger. That's all you got to do, Booker, man. That's all you got to do. Because after that, I feel it just. I don't think it really adds anything. Thankfully, there's a lot of room for tropes and so on and so forth. But I'm not necessarily going to break down all of that right now. But I was really disappointed when they decided to go this route. Saraya feels really shoehorned into this. I think Jamie Hayter and Ruby Soho would have been just fine.
Thank
would
you.
Would have been just a wonderful little match to give us. Yes.
Yes.
Quite. Yes, quite. I agree.
God, why are we sounding like? Oh, now we just sound like absolute snobs. All right, we gotta stop this.
We're being classy. We're going to be classy. Anyway, continue. And he's not wrong because that should have been the match. But I
He's
agree.
not wrong. He's not wrong at all.
Oh
Continue,
my
Warren.
god.
But it's kind of annoying, and I was really excited when Saraya joined AEW because like a lot of wrestlers who seem to get a second wind in AEW. I'm specifically talking about former WWE wrestlers or people who have been in WWE or who had their careers sort of their careers been overtaken by
Yeah.
Vince, saying, well, no, you can't wrestle anymore, or we got nothing for you, or why don't you come to Legends Night to, play poker and then get, creamed by Randy Orton. I'm entirely for wrestlers like Christian Cage, for instance, like Sting, who are like, look, I'm gonna go out on my own terms. And that's what I feel Saraya wanted to do here. And all the more power to her. I think it's been very, very iffy how she's been treated and how things have been going. I'm a little down on her right now. I think she could have easily been left out of this match. I don't think she's going to bring anything really interesting. I think the whole tale of what's going on is overshadowing the match, which is not something that really happens in AEW, because when it's time for the matches, it's the matches that take center stage, and the stories become like they're the support. Whereas here, there's a match, but there's the umbrella of the story above it, which I think takes away from it. I don't know. I think Jamie retains it. It's way too soon to take it off her. She's way too hot. She's one of the top 3 women's wrestlers in North America today. She's absolutely fantastic. It's too soon to take it off of her. She's going to retain. If they don't, we're going to have another talk.
You and I will have a private discussion about that, Warren, for sure. Simple rant. And it's one of those things where, again, I don't think it needed to be a triple threat. I'm just glad they didn't relegate this to a tag team match, per se, and you didn't defend the title. It's one thing to actually show the title, it's another thing to defend it, but when you add so much more into it, it's like, okay, how much do you put on a cheeseburger from your local burger joint without a toothpick down the middle of it before it collapses under its own weight? Seriously, for me, I would have been fine with just Ruby Soho versus Jamie Hayter, but it is what it is. That's why I got the sign above me. Anyway, all right. Let's see what Sabak says here. He's also going with haters. So far, we're all haters except for Mr. Hot Take here. You crazy boy. Let's see, James. I saved you last for a couple reasons. One, you and I have been heavily constructive about the women's division and both their champions, and maybe how Jade Cargill's and Britt Baker could become a thing. But Sean Garner, simple light take, he says, won't be undefeated her whole AEW career. Someone will pin her. Again, we follow Chris Statlander. Wow. Again, Chris Statlander, their courage, get well soon. And I don't see Jade Cargill right now coming into play here at all. She's going to continue to do her own thing. At this point, if she doesn't get a match book on Rampage, she might as well just do an open challenge during the buy-in, and you bring somebody from the independent side of things. But that being said, we'll focus just on these key 3 here in the AEW Women's World Championship. James, what's your take on this 3-way dance? And I'm going to put you on the spot here because you're one of the guys that kind of, again, you can kind of maybe try and foretell where the story's going. Who's eating the pin?
Well, the person eating the pin, I think, is going to be Ruby. I think that's why she's in the match, unfortunately. I think she's going to be the one taking the pin, and I think Jamie Hayter's the one who's going to pin her. That said, I'm going to move on from that because it's the way they're going about that. Actually, I'll go with my booking idea first, since you kind of brought that up in passing. So the way it looks as if they're going is, even though they're not going to be they're going to be members of this group, I think they're going to go and join up with the Jericho Appreciation Society ladies. And I think that's going to be your heel team for the Blood and Guts matchup if they do it. And I think they should build to that. I think it's going to be Anna Jay, Ty Conti, Saraya, and Saraya. Ruby Soho, I think, is going to eventually make her way into that mix with the heel team eventually. And Toni Storm. And then on the other side, I think you're going to have Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, Willow Nightingale, and Thunder Rosa. I think that's going to be your Blood and Guts matchup if they do a female version of Blood and Guts. And then as far as the TBS Championship, since you brought that up, I kind of want to say this also. When I said I think that Jade Cargill is more than ready to actually take on legit competition and actually do it on TV, I didn't mean the night of the buy-in. This is not what I meant, AEW. Bro, because, okay, say somebody high profile does accept a challenge. Okay, for what? Well, what was the point? You know, because now it has to be somebody low profile now. It has to be. You can't do it with somebody that's high profile because the money match, honest to God, is her versus Camille. So hopefully it's not her. God, I hope it's not her because that's way too fast.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Nah.
The only person I can see is Kayla Rossi. Seriously, it might be the only person I can see actually taking her on at this point.
You talk about beating her, or just in general?
No. In as the open challenge competitor, she comes out and fights Jade Cargill.
Kayla Rossi's been MIA for the longest time, though, dude. That would just be really weird.
I know that, but at the same time, who else you got?
Well, that's about Allison Kay, possibly.
Maybe.
She has been on buy-in before. She took on Serena Deeb for the NWA World Women's Championship.
I got another one. I can't think of her name off the top of my head.
The point being, the division's a mess. That particular part of the women's division is an absolute mess. Because while I enjoy Jade Cargill's not the problem. The problem is she has nobody to fight that's legitimate competition right now unless she goes to these other places.
Or maybe that.
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
That's a bold take, again, because she just got the IWGP Women's Championship. So, again, it's almost like there's no clear direction for either division, but at least they're doing, I guess, something with the World Championship versus the TBS Championship. It's almost like Cargill is booked
maybe
too strong above everybody else that they don't have anybody as an equal to her. You would need like some sort of Shaka and Osaka type moment or competitor for anybody to beat Jade Cargill for that title. She's been the only champion since inception.
I will say, Sean, also, I like where you're going with that, but the problem is if I'm booking this shit, I would have Mercedes Moné join up with the baddies and form her own stable.
Yes.
That's me, but that's if the baddies were still around, so that's out the window now.
I mean, Layla Gray is the only baddie right now, I'm just saying.
Exactly. So I honestly, I think, I don't know, man. Mercedes has a better shot at fighting Thunder Rosa or Hikaru Shida than she has fighting Jade Cargill. Put it that way.
All right.
Because if you book Jade Cargill versus Mercedes Moné, they're both champions. Neither one can lose. You'd have to end it in a fuck finish.
Yeah.
I would throw in here that if Mercedes does come in any way, shape, or form, she's not wrestling for a TBS title.
Exactly.
This is not.
You hit the nail on the head, Warren.
Even if she doesn't have the New Japan, the IWGP World Women's title, even if she loses that or whatever, there's no way she's not doing anything else than being at the tippy top of the card. Yeah. Unless Jake gets there in the meantime.
I mean, Jade Cargill versus Mercedes Moné, just cause. I mean, that's a top tier main money match of all sorts, honestly. But yeah, I mean, right now Mercedes Moné.
Frankly, the money match right now, if you were to bring in Moné, it's Jamie. This is the match that people would want to see.
Yes.
Especially the match especially after a match with Kyrie, where everyone was sort of like, oh, okay, she's not lost it. She's still Sasha Banks to a degree, right?
Yeah, 25 minutes worth.
Yeah, this is the match people want to see because here's the thing. It's like Jade is fantastic. Jade has the star quality, but look, she started late. She's in her 30s. These are her first. She has a winning streak, right, of 50 matches. These are her 51st wrestling matches of her career. You know, it's like, she's fine with what she does. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think acts like Jade have a place in pro wrestling, absolutely, especially when they're compelling like she is. But what you want to see out of a Mercedes Moné match at this stage right now isn't, the electricity, so on and so on. No, you want to see Mercedes go. And I'm pretty sure that's what she wants as well. Yeah. There's no one else than Jamie Hayter right now to make that one feel special, if you ask me.
I completely agree. Again, she talked about how she disciplined herself training in Japan and Mexico and New York for that match with Kyrie, and why Kyrie and Tam Nakano only had 5 minutes of Wrestle Kingdom. They did 5 times that in an absolute classic at Battle in the Valley. And coming up right now for Mercedes Moné, she has Asume and Mayu Iwatani on her radar, and those are both incredible Stardom talents. Yes, Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, I don't think Mercedes is coming to AEW right now. She's made it perfectly clear that there's one person on her bucket list to face before she retires, and that's Mickie James.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen sooner rather than later. I could actually see that being a title scenario at some point. Also, plus we're thinking like the Forbidden Door necessarily has to be just New Japan, strictly New Japan.
No.
Also.
No.
I don't think it's going to be that this year. I think there's going to be Impact involvement. And with AEW having ROH in their sites also, you're definitely going to see Ring of Honor involvement. So I think all 4 companies are going to be involved in Forbidden Door this year, which means the best match you honestly can do for Jade, if you're not going to do Kayla Rossi, her versus Savannah Evans is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great matchup because it's somebody that's very experienced, even though she's young in her own right.
Yes.
And it's a big hoss fight that you could definitely put on the card, and it could be Jade's toughest challenge to date, and it could be a legit threat. And it would be entertaining and very, very hard hitting. That's something you could book on the AEW Revolution card.
And I know Bailey also said, Sean, that never say never. She's optimistic that her best friend could go back to WWE. And if Lashley talks anything, you never say never. But I don't know. I think it's still too soon to say anything regarding that company and Mercedes Moné. But overall, at least we are excited and optimistic towards the booking of Jamie Hayter, particularly.
Yes.
Not just as champion, but as individuals. That just goes to show that AEW did something right with at least one female talent. The other one, they're still trying to figure out.
I will even argue that the way the champions right now for AEW's women's division, perfect.
Yeah.
Wouldn't change a thing. It's just one's being booked better in Jamie Hayter, to be quite frankly, and the other one is not really.
Case in point,
she's running out of competition. Yeah, she's running out of competition.
Just find something else off the wrestling industry conveyor belt. Go on an excursion or something like that.
Hey,
play CBS champion.
Hey, you know what? Bring Chris Cyborg in. Why not?
Oh,
I think it's about that time. Why not?
She wants to buy Chris
see what
Cyborg.
she can do.
That's somebody that will break a bee, and that's no lie.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She can't be any worse than Marina Shafir. I'm just saying.
Ouch. Again, I'm just going to say this, as JJ politely put it. Shout out to JJ, Followcast 80 Studios. Let you be in the ring yourself. Shut up. All right, let's go ahead and move on from there. We're talking about people that are going to endure, survive, that are ready. Something's ringing. I'm sure one of these 2 men's heads are going to be ringing after the physical punishment they're going to put each other through to make sure only one of them is freaking left standing. Talk about a finale. As Jon Moxley takes on him and Adam Page. Match 3, Texas Death Match. Oh, Lord. Okay, so first off, I'm just going to say one thing that I know is going to happen for sure. Jon Moxley's going to bleed. Now, that being said.
What?
Yes!
How?
Yes, he will! He will bleed!
Blasphemous!
Like there's no tomorrow!
This is blasphemy! How dare you say such predictions on this Christian server? How dare you, sir?
I said what I said, and I stand by it. All right, so we're going to see who becomes more violent. We're going to see if him and Adam Page becomes something he doesn't want to be. And when a man has nothing to lose, and he's at his most vulnerable or at his most dangerous. Last time these 2 faced each other one-on-one, it was a simple pity maneuver that allowed, of course, Jon Moxley to get the win. And Heyman and Jon Moxley, they were not going to have it. We saw the Evil Uno of the Dark Order come in on behalf of him and Adam Page to defend not only Dark Order's name, but prove a point to Jon Moxley, and he got bludgeoned. And then him and Adam Page busted Jon Moxley open with a barbed wire wrapped right fist. So what sort of madness could these two AEW originals unleash on each other that keeps a man down for a count of 10. Texas Death Match, anything goes. Neither man's going to come out of this thing the same way again. I can't wait for this war. And it's pretty partisan, but I just say this. I go back to what I said before. Double or Nothing, the 5th anniversary. Dwayne, I'm starting off with you first, but I'm just going to say this. There were 2 men involved when the AEW World Championship was first presented. One of them's in the main event. This match might as well be your semi, but I know it's not going to be. But I feel the competitor here is going to face that man towards, if not at, Double or Nothing. And that's all I'm going to say. So, Dwayne, what's your pick?
Texas Deathmatch basically is there pinfall in it, or is just until no man can get back up?
It is literally just a last man standing.
Yeah,
match,
basically
I
that's
think,
what
by
I was
AEW
thinking.
logic.
Exactly.
So, is this going to be an actual? Is there a difference between a Texas death match and an actual death match, like say from GCW? Is there anything different as far as just the name goes?
Less doors.
And no light twos, probably.
Oh, yeah. We don't want that, but
no.
So there's going to be lots of blood.
Yes.
Lots of broken glass.
Oh.
Possibly barbed wire, which you can't have a death match without having a barbed wire bed. I'll tell you right now, I'm going out with the one that's probably won way more death matches than Adam Page. And I'm going with John Moxley to win this one.
I'm actually going with Heyman and Page. That's why I didn't say anything, because I was curious if you were going to say the same thing as me. But I like that. I like the fact that right now there are 2 different individual picks for this match. John Moxley, former AEW World Champion. Heyman and Page, former AEW World Champion. John Moxley, Heyman and Page, involved since day one in AEW. But John Moxley last year was supposed to go on vacation. He ended up being the bright light to guide and keep encouraging people to follow this company and why he loves professional wrestling, even if it's bloody deathmatch professional wrestling. Damn it. What?
I said it's straight down the middle, even however you call it, both ways. So
yeah, I see both men literally being
it's
down.
It's more or less we flip the coin and he thinks going to win.
Well, fair enough. Well, I don't have a quarter, but that being said, a majority are going with him and Page. 60%, 40% believe in John Moxley. James, what's your take on this?
Well, I'll say this. I think Hangman is also going to win. I think this is going to be the ending of the feud. I don't think Moxley necessarily needs to win. I think Moxley, if anything, this should be a way to write Moxley off for a little bit. So that's how I think they're going to be doing that. So I think he's going to take the loss here, and Hangman's going to get the definitive W against Mox. Now, the real question is, does Moxley do a different way of bleeding? Because maybe he doesn't go for the forehead. Everybody just assuming he's gonna do, stereotypical blade job, and he'll bleed like a gusher or whatever. What if it's from an arm? What if it's from the torso? You never know. You never know how he's
gonna bleed from his earlobe a couple of weeks ago, like when they tore.
It freaking threw off his equilibrium.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Tore out his earring, and then he bled from his earlobe. Yeah,
Warren. It's 7:07 p.m. over here in the East Coast, right? It's almost dinner time for us, and you just made me very sick to my stomach before I have to go get Chinese food. And I really did not need to be reminded of that horrific visual.
Thankfully, I ate before this show even came on, so that way I wouldn't be sick to my stomach like James did. But I continue, James.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. That digestion can be a motherfucker.
Quick question. Speaking of ears, was it more horrendous than watching Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton put a thing through Jeff Hardy's ear?
Oh,
both are awful. No, stop
Great
it.
spot. I love that
was
so much.
Brilliant and wrong on so many levels.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Simply Predicted, where everything is off the table.
Yeah, well,
Exactly, and we all have bugs. We just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. But
in
anyway,
the infamous words of Steve Harvey, Dwayne, Warren, y'all going to hell.
this show is going to hell. Anyway,
Oh,
survey
God.
says, ding, James says Heyman Adam Page is winning.
Yes.
Now, whether or not that's the top answer on the board, I did not survey 100 people yet. But anyway, Justin, what's your take on this match?
Okay, so before this match even came to a head, we should also remember that it was John Moxley who gave Adam Heyman Page that concussion that kept him out of action for a couple of months.
Which I'm glad you mentioned that because something's been grinding my gears. Not one time during this entire feud, other than that one time he mentioned it, I forgot my daughter's name. Hangman says that it doesn't get brought up once after that. Why? Why?
The continuity is lost in the
It's
realm
so
of
good. It was so good. It was such a good promo. It made the feud feel personal, and they don't bring it up after that since. Why?
I don't know, Simon Miller. You tell me.
Oh my gosh.
But no, getting back to what I was saying, like this feud started right when John Moxley gave Adam Heyman Page that concussion for the AEW World Championship, and
Yep.
we didn't think that Heyman Page was ever going to come back. Well, we knew he was going to come back, but we didn't think he was going to come back until probably 2020. We thought he was going to come back until like late in the year, but he came back 4 months after, I believe, if I'm correct.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Because I know I get crazy sometimes, but I'm not crazy about that one.
You get crazy sometimes.
I do too. It's okay.
As far as
This is the James Hebert's on this panel, and Warren's learning what James is.
yeah, as far as his Texas death match goes, there's gonna be blood, but
No.
No, really?
it's gonna be
Is it gonna be real blood?
it's gonna be
Real
it's gonna no, it's gonna be Heyman that draws blood first. I know everybody's gonna say like, well, Moxley, if you punch Moxley in the head, he bleeds right away. Yes, he does, but if you also hit Heyman with the glass, he's gonna bleed. So
Fair.
Mostly everybody on this panel has got Heyman and Page, huh?
Yeah.
Except for Dwayne.
Except for Dwayne.
So far.
Well, I'm gonna agree with Dwayne, and I'm gonna go Moxley.
Oh.
Warren, do you think they literally would rewind back to John Moxley versus MJF or Bryan Danielson, or do we maybe finally get the history that was foreshadowed back in WWE 2019, maybe in our main event for the 5th anniversary? What's your take?
Adam Page is he's the ace of AEW, right? The younger guy, the charismatic guy that they like and they want to groom him for years. They want to make sure that he's always in the mix, that he's always a top guy. To me, I think it's pretty. I think the best decision to do here is to put Adam Page on top here. Because look, Mox has had his run. Mox can be on any level of the card, which is fantastic. And Page has been this, the injury, the concussion, as unfortunate as it was, has brought him back feeling stronger, more focused. One of the again, the injury is regrettable, and you'd never want that stuff to happen. But in great pro wrestling tradition, they're able to take that negative and spin gold out of it. And to my, if you were to ask me, they're making money out of it. I think this has been the best feud in AEW since Page came back. I think this has been excellent to the degree. Like, look, if you include the injury, this is the 4th time these guys fight within 6 months, and no one's going again. Everyone's like, yeah, let's go, let's do this, right?
And Warren, before you continue, I do want to agree with you on this one, because if you think about it, between MJF and Danielson or Moxley and Heyman, which feud do you think people are going to talk about more? They're going to be talking more about Moxley and Heyman, because all MJF, and I'll say this when I go first with MJF and Danielson, but all MJF said was like, well, if you can go undefeated, you can face me. Moxley and Heyman did nothing like that. They were like, you want me? Fine, you can have me.
And the record now is 1-1-1, technically. The one being not a draw, a no contest.
Yep.
So look, this is going to be fantastic. It's going to be beautiful, brutal pro wrestling. Just a visceral, disgusting, beautiful pro wrestling. I'm so excited for this match. It's ridiculous.
If art form had an art form of professional wrestling through two men scarring each other, this would be it. A masterpiece yet to be created. Well, wrestling is an art. It doesn't have to be a pretty one, but it sure is violent.
I will say Van Gogh, or who was the guy that actually, no, I don't want to speak out of turn. Who was the guy that cut his ear off? Who was the famous painter that did that? Yeah, it was Van Gogh. Yeah, Van Gogh is definitely like smiling from ear to ear, like, I like pro wrestling now from the heavens. I'm watching you.
You mean he's smiling from ear to
peer steer to peer steer. Yeah, it all works.
So Van Gogh is all elite. There you go. All right, fair enough. Well, again, I love the fact we are so partisan here. We got John Moxley, we got him and Adam Page. I believe, Chris, you round this thing out. So again, based on this match, could this be the proverbial new number one contender to the AEW World Championship? What's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is this a Texas death match.
Yes.
And personally, I wish AEW Revolution didn't go to San Francisco. I wish it would have went into Texas because this would have been fitting in Texas for a Texas death match.
I mean, to be fair, Lance Archer did do it in Texas, so it's not like they haven't done it there, but I understand what you're saying.
But
San Francisco 49ers match.
The 49ers, a bunch of pickaxes and gold nuggets.
But in this match, I know, Noah, you forgot to mention about in the forum, there's bonus points to...
Well, I feel like Aaron Riff and Tony Khan had a Zoom call, and it's like, let's get crazy. John Moxley doesn't bleed. I'll give you 3 points. If you don't think John Moxley is not bleeding in this, do you think AEW is rated PG?
No.
On pay-per-view? What?
But
I thought if you bled, I got 3 points. That's what I took it.
But
I misread the form.
But overall, I think John Moxley is going to bleed.
And so does everybody else. No one's taking up Aaron Riff's. Odds are, John Moxley not bleeding, you have greater odds winning the lottery.
If you answer yes above, what's your wager? He says yes, he does not bleed. No, he bleeds. No bet. So I'm saying no, he will bleed. So he's gonna bleed no matter what. But overall, my prediction, I picked Hangman Adam Page in the forum. I'm going for Hangman Adam Page. He needs this win more than any superstar out there.
Yep,
John Moxley doesn't need this win. Because I don't want to see him in a world title picture anytime soon. I'm a fan of his, but he don't need to be in the title picture all the time. I do believe, and this is why I was thinking about even yesterday, about this match, and I had in mind that Hangman Adam Page needs this win more, and I feel he is going to face the AEW World Champion in the main event of Double or Nothing during Memorial Day weekend. I feel Hangman Adam Page wins on Sunday. and he will challenge the AEW World Champion at Double or Nothing.
All right. So some good foreshadowing. I feel like for the 5th anniversary of Double or Nothing, the show with AEW brand all began. So again, most of us are going with the Hangman, or as Jared would say, Hangman. Dwayne went with John Moxley, but again, John Moxley is a different breed. That being said, let's go ahead and move on as we do have 2 matches left. And Warren,
Guys,
go ahead.
yes, I'm gonna have to jump out because as was mentioned, it is 7 p.m. Eastern time here, and I do have to go tend to the hungry mouths of the tribe. But it was super fun hanging out with you guys. Thank you very much for the invite, and let's do this again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
you very much.
Warren. I look forward to seeing you again on City Predicting. You're a proud member of the City Predicting family. Tell your friends, and again, just keep encouraging and keep talking about wrestling.
Absolutely, and thank you guys. See you soon.
See you, Warren.
brother.
See you
See you,
soon,
Warren.
bud.
Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Warren Hayes. You can check him out on YouTube. Go check out the Warren Hayes Show and follow him on Twitter. Again, great guy. Well, that was fun. We got 2 matches left, folks, so let's keep this party going as we wait to see what's ahead tonight in Friday Night Wrestling. We got 2 matches left, and talking about TV-related stuff, will the King of Television still be holding his moniker and both his sets of titles? As Samoa Joe defends the TNT Championship against clean shaven, kind of actually a different hairdo, Wardlow. The one-on-one finally, but this time for the second time around, and there's more on the line here than a title. There is pride. All I'm going to say is this. With Ring of Honor, the new era officially begun, the King of Television has both a Ring of Honor strap and AEW strap. Does he still keep going through with both? Does he work between both companies, or are we finally going to see Samoa Joe maybe pick a land to rule as king? Does he need to continue being the King of Television? They call it with the Darby Allin thing for what it was, and we saw what happened in the triple threat at Full Gear that surprised us. Samoa Joe inserted himself in the program and became the champion. And here we stand knowing that this coming Wednesday, Powerhouse Hobbs has a TNT title shot. So, James, what do you think? Does Samoa Joe continue to be the king, or does Wardlow basically take down a king a peg and make him a prince of television?
All I'll say is the man is going to stay the king of television. Samoa Joe, I think, is retaining. I think it's too soon. I know they like to do this hot potato with the belts a lot of the time. However, the bottom line is Wardlow's had a long, lengthy reign with the championship. Joe really hasn't. And I kind of want to see where he goes with this King of Television gimmick. I want to see him win that title. Now, there's one other thing I want to point out. You will notice on Ring of Honor television, another submission expert has decided to put his championship on the line, his television title on the line, in Zack Sabre Jr. And Forbidden Door being around the corner. And if I'm just saying, there could be a situation where we have all the television titles on the line, winner take all.
Oh, good Lord! Don't collect your thing.
Joe becoming the king of the undisputed king of television. You can't be the undisputed king of television if you don't win that New Japan Television Championship. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna just say.
Well, if he wants that to happen, then clearly he sees Samoa Joe retaining. So there's one for Joe. But again, Wardlow just came back. Different motivation. Hobbs and Wardlow have unfinished business. And if Wardlow loses, the game over for this guy that was red hot coming out of Double or Nothing last year, in my opinion. I feel that Wardlow kind of has to win here. And I feel that Samoa Joe will be more foundated, still as a king of television, but maybe he'll just focus on being the king of television and Ring of Honor for both the Ring of Honor Television Champion and, like you said, NJPW World Television Championship. I don't think you necessarily need all the TV titles in the friggin' industry on a single man. And Samoa Joe, he is Ring of Honor. There's no denying that. So I actually think Wardlow's going to regain the title. Chris, the majority actually agree with me. 74% believe Wardlow, while the remaining 26% believe that Samoa Joe will still be our king. So at the end of the day, who's Powerhouse Hobbs facing Wednesday for the TNT title?
Well, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet.
You made less than 20 minutes.
I know, possibly.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just saying TNT title matches have a 20-minute time limit. So I expect this to be one of the shorter matches on
20-minute
the
time
card.
limit.
NWA
I
says
know.
6 minutes.
Damn, Dwayne.
Yeah, it's better than
Wow.
It's better than the NWA television title, which had 605.
Well, that's
Fuck
what
that.
I was getting at. The NWA one's what I said.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started. You want me to rant about the NWA? That's one of the many problems with that entire
We
brand.
do it in
All
another
right,
show.
all right. Let's stay civil, okay? Let's stay civil.
Okay.
Continue, Chris.
I'm gonna keep this short and sweet here. Did the first episode of Ring of Honor came out with one champion or two champions last night?
We had, let's see, Ring of Honor Pure Champion, Ring of Honor World Champion, Tony Deppman challenged the Ring of Honor Television Champion. Ooh, that's Samoa Joe. We had the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion on there, Ring of Honor 6-man champions, and one half of the Ring of Honor all the Ring of Honor champions was part of the new era of Ring of Honor kickoff. And then there was the NJPW World Television Champion, Zack Sabre Jr.
All right. But did Samoa Joe came out with one belt or two belts?
He wasn't on there at all, but he will be in
He
action
wasn't.
this coming week.
Okay. I do believe, on the forum, I picked Warlow to become the new become the TNT championship. And I am actually going with Warlow to win here because of one thing. Usually on these AEW pay-per-views, there's usually one or two championship changing hands. I haven't said any title changes with my predictions. So this is a title change that is going to happen, and we're going to see Warlow Powerhouse Hobbs this coming Wednesday on AEW Dynamite on TBS for the TNT Championship, and I feel that match is going to be absolutely a banger on Wednesday night if it happens.
As Jeff Chat would say, big meaty man doing big meaty things, slapping meat. All right. Dwayne, what's your take? Do you think Samoa Joe is going to still be our king of television, or does Wardlow dethrone him once again in the name of his father after losing the hair that symbolized him?
I'll keep this one short as well. My original prediction was for Wardlow to retain the title till they announced that Powerhouse is getting his title shot that followed with Dynamite. I don't think they're going to hot potato the title two nights. Tony Khan has a way of having every person that wins that whatever ladder match it was, the
Face of the Revolution.
Face of the Revolution. Every one of them has won it and going on to be TV champion, I do believe. So I don't think he's going to end that trend there as well. So Samoa Joe will win. I'm sure. I don't know if he'll beat him clean or not. I don't think he will, but he's going to turn around and lose to Powerhouse Hobbs, I think. So my prediction, Samoa Joe.
I didn't even think about that. You're right. Unlike the Money in the Bank, so far the Face of the Revolution ladder match has yielded a new TNT champion with every winner. You're absolutely right. Huh. Okay, Justin. I didn't even think about that fact, even if it's short history. So, do you agree with Dwayne's take on that? Does Powerhouse Hobbs somehow usurp Samoa Joe? I mean, we have seen these two butt heads and jack each other for words, not jaws yet. And I do feel that would be an interesting banger of its own as well. But also Wardlow and Hobbs, that's a one-on-one that hasn't happened either. So both of these are one-on-ones that have yet to happen. So regardless of Hobbs being maybe our new TNT champion because they have that Dynamite, who you got coming out with the gold this Sunday?
I do want to mention that I mentioned on the roundtable a couple weeks back when Darby Allin lost his TNT title. Like, I had no idea what Tony Khan was doing.
Right.
Because he just won the title in his home and then he lost it a month after. Now I can understand. Now I understand why. we need to end this. We need to end this with Wardlow and Samoa Joe, and I think this is going to end on Sunday. Dwayne, I like you. I like your prediction here because you're absolutely right. Whoever wins the Face of the Revolution ladder match, which by the way, Tony Khan, good job of booking that match on Wednesday. That was one hell of a match.
Yes.
The winners of that Face of the Revolution ladder match always comes out with the TNT title. Personally, I was gonna go with Wardlow because, well, Samoa Joe took his hair and took his title.
Yes.
Now I don't see Wardlow winning Sunday. So I see Samoa Joe tapping Wardlow out, and then I see Powerhouse Hobbs taking the TNT Championship on Wednesday from Samoa Joe.
Oh man, this is tough because either way, one of these two men, Wardlow or Powerhouse Hobbs,
is losing.
Yeah, someone's going to be hurt in booking, and the book of Hobbs in this new character direction for Hobbs. Crap, Tony Khan, who's your money behind? This is a hard one now. Damn it, Dwayne, you had to bring in that fact. I didn't even think about that.
Well, keep this in mind that they are somehow going to move Wardlow into the world title picture in a few.
Yes, they are. Yeah,
that's
they are.
Definitely going to be happening. So
I
Wardlow set there.
That'll be a thing, not just the history particularly, but yeah.
If Joe loses the belt, which I don't know if they're gonna go with that, but he'll be set because he at least is busy with Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Right.
If anybody needs it out of the three, it's definitely got to be Hobbs.
Yes.
I would not deny that.
Yeah.
All right. So I like that we're all split on this. So again, good stuff, everybody. Again, with that fact that Dwayne talked about, y'all might change your picks on the forum. I know others might change the picks on the forum too, but we'll see. That being said, folks, again, thank you for tuning in so far to this. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend across both channels. Get your predictions in. Your opinions matter too. You got till 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday night to finalize them. We've had a lot of engagements. We've had a lot of indecisiveness. We've had a lot of sub-tangents. But I feel like there's been enough of all that talk because you know what I'm about to do. Because, gentlemen, it is time for the main event. 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. The defending champion of the Triple B, the Big Burberry Belt, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, goes one-on-one against the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, in what is truly going to be the fight of MJF's life. I am not going to say anything else because Justin particularly asked me beforehand to go first on this match, so he will set the course, the pace, and maybe the influence. Justin, the floor is yours. What happens here? Who leaves the AEW World Champion?
Please don't steal my fault.
I don't even know what you're going to be saying, Dwayne, but this is what I'm going to be saying.
Dwayne might want to cover his ears.
Yeah, pretty much. Tony Khan has booked one of the best, second best feud in AEW right now, because the first is of course Heyman and Moxley. This one is the second one, but this one brings up a lot of good points. Bryan Danielson on Wednesday, like, Maxwell, you only hate me because you think because I have beautiful kids and beautiful wife, and you think you deserve that. I fought depression, I fought head injuries, I fought the authority, I fought everything to become world champion back in WWE. Now my dream here is to become AEW world champion. Couple of weeks ago, we didn't know if this was a shoot or not, that MJF's fiance broke up with him. We came to learn a day after the show went off the air that it is in fact true. MJF's fiance did break it off with him.
What?
Damn.
Yeah, his fiance did break up with him, and that's why the promo that he did a week before on AEW Dynamite was said.
Maybe his prom date's still single.
The whole entire you win until February 8th, you get me at Revolution. That is the best obstacle to ever get there. 60-minute Iron Man match. Like I said, This is probably gonna go on at 12 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning, and this is probably gonna end at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm okay with that.
James,
I'm
buckle
okay
up.
with that. Yeah, yeah. For anybody that has school the next day, no, kids don't watch this because you're gonna be up late. However, do I think Bryan Danielson's gonna walk out of San Francisco with the AEW World Championship? No, I do not. No, I do not. This is MJF's second title defense. I totally forgot he defended against Ricky Starks.
Right.
This is MJF's first pay-per-view title defense, however. He does not need to lose this until All Out in September.
All right.
So I got MJF winning 4 falls to 2.
Oh, 4-2. Okay, interesting gap deficit. Well, Dwayne, we have seen the emotional and physical toll in storytelling both these men have put each other through all the way through this program, in and out of AEW. And talk about making it personal with Bryan Danielson talking about pinning shoulders to the mats and banging rats. Damn. Again, Bryan Danielson don't give 0 Fs. He still doesn't. How fitting, by the way, he was in the ring with Renee Paquette talking smack.
Right.
That being said, Dwayne, what's your take on this match? What does it lead to? And will Bryan Danielson fight for his dreams to come true? It will be enough.
Again, it's almost 8 o'clock. I am going to keep mine short. But, excuse me.
You're good, brother.
Where was I at? I think I ain't even going to try to give an idea of how many falls it's going to be. I just threw I think I did a 4-3 or a 5-4. I think how it's going to happen. Number one, my pick's MJF. It's the obvious pick. I don't think this is going to be the last time they're facing each other. There's going to be another match somewhere down the road. I think that MJF's going to take the heel way at the very beginning, get himself disqualified once or twice, but he's going to brutally hurt Danielson to where he can wear him down and get more pins after pins after pins. I think it might also come down to the wire. They'll be tied. They'll take the dust, what they call it, the dusty finish or whatnot. And there'll be a chance for overtime possibly, but somehow or another he squirms his way out and he winds up winning it. 4-3, I think how it'll be.
All right, fair enough. And you did bring up a point about disqualification that could lead to a decision. We also worked about, Chris, how Bryan Danielson's shoulder particularly has been worked over in this program as well. I don't know if Bryan Danielson's going into this thing 100%, though he did drop MJF with that flying shot. Jesus. That being said, Chris, what's your thoughts on this World Championship match? Do you got the American Dragon or you got Maxwell Jacob Freeman?
Well, I'm looking forward to this match. It's going to be 60-minute Iron Man match. I did read something on Twitter today that Danielson is maybe convincing Tony Khan.
Put the title on first. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now he just took the words right out of my mouth.
No, I did.
Thank you. So
I saw that tweet yesterday, but yeah,
I saw it today, and now, I personally believe if they want to open, we haven't had an AEW World Championship match open up the show.
No,
and I believe if you want to, if this goes until like midnight in the morning, I might be tapping out because I have to get up for work at 7 in the morning on Monday. So I'm hoping this match is the opening on Sunday. I personally believe if Bryan Danielson does so good and convince Tony Khan to let them go first, it will be a good idea. And then you could put something on in the main event, maybe.
The only match that could take the main event spot besides this, I would have to think, is the Texas Death Match.
Yep.
And at that point, it might as well have been a unsanctioned match because you have to have the world champion officially main event.
But
which means the women's world title moves.
Overall, I do have my final result is going to be 4-3. Who I picked in the forum is MJF.
Yep.
What did I put in the comment section? I'm MJF. I'm better than you, and you know it. My final prediction is MJF retains the AEW World Championship. And I think we're going to get MJF Hangman Adam Page at Double or Nothing for the World Championship. I'm heartbroken that MJF and his fiance broke things off.
That's
MJ,
not gonna lie.
Better do better and stop being a jerk.
Kayfabe or well, you know what? I'm not going down that proverbial rabbit hole. That's not wrestling. That's a whole different.
I do want to say before James gives his thoughts on this match, I can understand where Chris is coming from with he wants this AEW World Championship match to go on first because he has work in the morning, and I know Danielson wants this match to go on first so he can go to bed early.
Right.
This is a pay-per-view where we need the World Championship to be on the line in the main event. I'm not saying that Danielson's wrong, and I'm not saying that Chris is wrong. If this is the match that everybody has been waiting to see, it needs to be main event.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, again, it's a stat car, but when you figure about this is the MJF's first pay-per-view defense and how personal this storyline has become at the expense of one Lord William Regal, and honestly, it could be literally MJF's coming into fully being what he believes he should be. Because again, Bryan Danielson is a teacher through violence. If MJF's going to go down that crazy list of people and so many storylines to come against Liza, well, not in Kingston, he quit AEW. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, Heyman Adam Page, just to name a couple of key names from his past on that list. Or Ricky Starks even, once again. James,
Yep.
I think you and I are both on the same page when we say that somehow, some way, I don't know what they're going to do between the 60-minute clock, and that's really what's going to throw us off here. That can, not be the same, but still be along the lines of what we've seen men that have gone 60 minutes do or done. Whether you talk about WWE with Triple H and The Rock, whether you talk about NJPW with Okada and Omega, whether you talk about Impact Wrestling with TJP, Josh Alexander, whether you talk about women's side of things with Suzu Suzuki and Risa Sera out of Stardom, Providence. What is MJF and Bryan Danielson going to show us, and more particularly each other, within 60 minutes? But either way, James, I think you and I are still going to both say here that Maxwell Jacob Freeman has to go over as the winner in the end, right?
Yeah, he's still, no question, he's still winning. I got him 4-3 as well. I think what we're going to see is why MJF has been the champion, why he's been chosen to be the champion. He legitimately is the best wrestler in the world. He's the best promo in the world. He's going to show that on Sunday. And even if he cheats, he's still going to be. Nobody's going to be able to take that away from him.
I guarantee you that ring and a pair of brass knuckles symbolism is going to come into play in this.
No doubt. That's really it, man. Those are my thoughts. I think MJF retains, and I think I just can't wait. I literally said in my comments on the predictions forum, main events. I'm ready for the main event. Let's effing go.
And then give me the face-off between him and a bloody Heyman Adam Page and set my story up for the 5-year anniversary of Double or Nothing, where it started with these two men in the title, and it continues now with these two men and the title 5 years later. I'm just saying, 5th anniversary of Double or Nothing, it's got to be special. I still say Double or Nothing is the biggest show of AEW's calendar year. I know they have All Out, that's the super card, but Double or Nothing defined the brand, and I still feel like does to this day. I don't think we're going to see the best in the world show up, but we're going to know who the best in the world is come the end of this AEW World Championship 60-minute Iron Man match, and that's really all I gotta say about that. I'm just ready to go. Let's freaking go. I'm excited. I'm curious to see what Countdown brings us tonight as far as foreshadowing and storytelling, because let's be honest, the Countdown is the best part of your actual go home into a pay-per-view, because they tell the story and they give you the insights from the experts and the competitors themselves too. That's what we're really waiting on.
Right, and like I mentioned before we went on, this is at the Chase Center, home of the Warriors. If NBA fans can bring it to an NBA game, come on, AEW fans, you need to bring it to your first ever West Coast pay-per-view, especially when you're in the Chase Center. So you either need to get lively at the arena or just watch it back home on your television.
Well, again, if you have the money, do it. If you don't have the money, it's okay if you don't. But if you can, support AEW and see what the future has in store for you through this company and for the rest of the industry too. Again, what does MJF keep talking about? The bidding war of 2024. Kayfabe or not, this match is going to have a huge influence, I guarantee you, at least on that. Because everybody has got their eyes on MJF, whether you want to admit it or not. And that's all I got to say about that. I think that's all we got to say, too, about this preview coming up for AEW. So great job, everybody, and thank you, Warren, for being a part of this. And that being said, thank you so much to everybody that's been along for the ride, either on demand or live, for the whole thing or for part of it, including our sub-channels aside. I think now we will conclude things and go ahead and go on our merry way. Good time kill before SmackDown, where we finally will see Cody Rhodes go one with Roman Reigns, because, again, the next time you see us on the biggest of City Predicting stages, proverbial point, everybody, it will be for WrestleMania. But before then, we have AEW Revolution this Sunday. And all I got to say is good luck to everybody and great job. Justin, been a pleasure, my friend. Good luck again Sunday. You know what the form is. Anything you want to plug about, where can people find you?
Yes, and Noah, thank you so much for having me on here. And I will say this now. If you need me back to come on AEW, Double or Nothing for the 50th anniversary, I'm more than happy to come on for any AEW pay-per-views for the predictions.
Duly noted.
As far as where you can find me, speaking of 5 years, Forever Boston Sports, that's my group. We're celebrating 5 years this coming Thursday. We got Jeff Chadwick, James Falcon, and Gary Joe on that anniversary show, so that's going to be one huge show.
Nice.
Noah and Chris knows where to find me, and that's MWL Predictions League. We are officially week 21 of 25 weeks. We are 4 weeks away from ending the season. So this has been one great year, and shout out to Jeff and Sean of course, being the Fury G. Jeff being the commissioner. He's doing a great job over there, and yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me, and of course, Facebook as well.
All right. Simple, sweet, simple, and to the point. Dwayne, good stuff on your first All Elite City Predicting. Good luck this Sunday. You definitely gave, I think, some very interesting predictions, but some fair analysis that could very well be the surprising results that put you forward in the opening of this year's All Elite League. But anything you want to plug about, where do we find you?
No, I'm just everybody enjoy the show. It's been a blast as always. Until we meet again, it'll be WrestleMania. Possibly breaking ground.
Breaking ground.
I got breaking ground on my mind for some reason. Follow me on Twitter, Florida Gator Fan. You can also follow me on Facebook, the same name as well. Other than that, y'all, kick-ass prediction show. Can't wait for the next one, man. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure,
problem,
my
brother.
friend. Chris, again, we're minutes away from SmackDown. You literally lay up the SmackDown on these predictions tonight. Good luck to you in the debut of this year's All Elite League 2. Always a pleasure. Anything you want to promote, where can we find you?
Well, it's always been a pleasure. Noah, thank you for allowing me to be on tonight. Justin, I can't wait to be doing the quizzes and the trivia for Forever Sports coming up. I can't wait. So where everybody can find me at is my Facebook, Christopher Roth, my Instagram, CMROTZ _6472. My Twitter is uppercase CR, lowercase OTZ 24. That is C _Rot 17.
Y'all gotta type that stuff to me in the group chat. So
Yeah, what was it? What was C _Rot 17? Because it glitched out for a second.
Yeah, my Snapchat is C _Rot 17. My TikTok is Rot _2423. The next time you'll definitely be seeing me will be possibly Friday, March 24th, where I'll be on for the Impact Sacrifice event. So I'll be on for that. And then also that the following week will definitely be a busy week as we'll be
Lord
getting ourselves
help me.
ready for my 2-year anniversary predictions for WrestleMania as I'll be on for my 2-year anniversary.
One way or another, I'm going to schedule that. I promise you.
So
I'm going to be doing a video every night WrestleMania week. Lord help me.
So we'll definitely plan it out according to scheduling. Keep us updated on everything. We'll be here for WrestleMania. We'll be here for NXT Stand and Deliver, Ring of Honor that night. It's gonna be a triple feature event, so buckle up, and I can't wait to be on for WrestleMania. And I hope everybody enjoys AEW Revolution this Sunday night. And let's have a good time this year for 2023 AEW Prediction League. And will Sean Bodley go back to back, or are we going to have a new champion? We have to find out and see.
And good luck to everybody. Well said. Before I give it to James, again, shout out to everybody that's given predictions so far, the 42 of you. I see your comments. Some people have said the following: Ricky Starks will lose because Jericho will not be involved in the JAS cost Ricky Starks. Can't wait. Could be a good show. We'll let us see about Royale to get more of the mid-card guys a spot, but also might be about time for Tony to stop hoarding mids. That's actually a fair take. First AEW show live. Can't wait. Hoping for a heck of a show. Pretty sure about everything but the trios match. I feel like it's going to a singles match, but a bit of the storyline. I think the Elite will retain. And there's your comment. I'm ready for this, Matt Clinnett. Let's freaking go. And that's just some of y'all's opinions. A lot of scores, by the way. 4-3 seems to be the consensus in favor of MJF as far as the final outcome. I see some bold takes: 5-4, 7-6, 6-5. Oh Jesus, it's bragging rights 2010 all over again. Sorry, did I say that out loud? 5-4, 4-3 does seem to be the common number. But good stuff all across the board, everybody. James, I know you and I aren't done by a long shot. By the way, I was tired as bleep on Wednesday night, but I'm so damn pissed I didn't call that ladder match with you. But always a pleasure. Appreciate your creative content, my friend. Before, of course, what you already promoted in the chat, anything else you want to plug more, where can people find you, besides the two of us calling the pay-per-view Sunday?
Well, I got a screen that I am sharing with you. If you could put that up on the main video feed right now. For everybody that wants to know what is coming up for FTW Productions, you can scan the QR codes coming up on your screen right now that is on demand or coming up. So here's Button Master Stable Wars entire playlist featuring Noah Foster, Mistress Audio, Kuzon, Michael X, and Mike Nikos. You can also check out our watch parties, Dynamite this week and Rampage this week at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel. Go check that out if you want to right now. You can also check out Mistress Audio's dramatic readings, one featuring me in them, but all of them featuring voice actors of WYW. Go check those out if you haven't already. You can also check out our retrospective of Elimination Chamber. Check out our My Survivor Series 2002 review, and check out Chris Dodd and Owen Finch's New Year's Resolution 2005 review, and Owen and I's 2006 New Year's Revolution review. You can also check out our upcoming retros for WrestleMania 1, 10, 15, now put on the schedule 18. 2000 is also on there. WrestleMania 25, WrestleMania 26, and of course, WrestleMania 24 featuring Jeff Meacham. So go check that out. Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play series by Michael X. If you're a fan of Star Wars, I think you'll enjoy that. Uh-oh. Somebody played
Someone
video.
got something going on in the background.
There you go. You can also check out, since we're on the road to WrestleMania, also on the WWE side, check out and refresh on Revenge Mode from GameCube's WrestleMania 19, where I play as Bill Goldberg and smash through a bunch of people. So go check that out if you want to. You can also check out all of the Simply Predicting panels we've done.
Hey, you updated it.
There you go. I bet. I got updating everything finally. Both episodes of the Don DeMarco Show. Refresh on what we've done, because soon after Mania Week is done, because this week is busy as it is, we are going to be doing a Tech 9 feature binge. So check that out, including one Dwayne Johnson. So go check that out. AEW Spark featuring myself, Noah Foster, who hosts, and sometimes King A-Train, as well as WWE Aftershock, which features Owen Finch as the host, Chris Dodd, and sometimes Steve Coakley. Both shows review all WWE and AEW content. Yes, that includes Main Event, Level Up, Dark, and Dark Elevation. So go check out those shows if you want. We also have NASCAR Thunder 2004 Let's Play Series Season Mode. All parts are there and available. AEW Revolution, as Noah mentioned, live on the Jeff Beecham Network, Multiverse Media. You can check out Wrestle Kingdom 17 coverage from earlier in the year with FTW production cohorts Kuzan and Casey Gallagher, as well as coverage on the Jeff Beecham Network. You can check out A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes of Elimination Chamber and Royal Rumble.
I'm surprised that you got me still without the suit.
Right? And you guys can check out our Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting series. Episode 3 is going to be around the corner this year, so stay tuned for that. It's upcoming, and it's in the works by Alvin Earthworm. You can also check out tonight's ATW View Impromptu. Myself, Noah Foster, and the rest of the ATW crew, including King A-Train and others, will be going over the road to AEW Revolution and WWE WrestleMania thus far, and possibly other things to talk about, too, as far as the world of pro wrestling goes.
I'm sure Eric will make sure it goes off the rails.
I'm sure he will. Check out Weymouth Youth Wrestling, my CAW Wrestling League, the official intro, and WIW Immortals, 8-hour-long monster of an extravaganza that we released in 2017 in concurrent with WrestleMania, which I thought was better, by the way. Go check that out. No pressure. And finally, last but certainly not least, go check out the Royal Rumble Match Marathon Watch-Along on my friend Casey's channel. Check it out on youtube.com, along with the retros following the marathon. We did all of them with the exception of 98 because shit just ended up happening. But everything else is there, so go check that out when you can. And those are the plugs.
Well done, my friend. The only thing I have to say regarding all that, don't be so tough on your space bar, man. Line up. Seriously.
Wait, did it really pick up that bad?
Oh, I heard that. Boom. Yeah, I forgot a high-profile key as someone that speaks.
I was pressing hard on the arrow key, bro.
Well, either way, a good use of PowerPoint presentation. Drew Gulak would be proud, but also thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure. Good stuff. And again, folks, that's Simply Predicting. But if you want to know more about me, know this: for I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of what is it, gentlemen?
Professional wrestling.
Damn it! Buy the shirt.
But I digress. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at nfoster1916 for all things wrestling. And shout out, of course, to the entire ATW family on Twitter across other platforms, too. As James alluded to, again, I also keep stuff updated on my YouTube channel and the community tab. You'll find leaderboards, detail. I keep telling you, Twitter and the community tab on YouTube. That's how you see the leaderboards. You'll find updates there for forums and videos and all sorts of stuff, too, on the community tab. And you'll also find my YouTube channel, the ATW View, full playlist. And again, we're bringing it back where it all started, from Revolution back to Revolution. Stay tuned for that. Now being produced by FTW Productions. As Chris alluded to, the next time we'll be predicting will be Sacrifice. But coming up in total, we have Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, WrestleMania, NXT Stand Delivered, all in the same week. God help us if it's on the same video.
What about what about Multiverse United? What's going on with it?
I am thinking about including that, but I have not made it official yet. But since you put me on the spot, fine. I'll ask the panel here. Do you guys want me to do a Sydney predicting panel for the NJPW Impact Multiverse Special? All right, the silence speaks volumes. There's enough content as it is. It's not happening.
I mean, I really don't know what. Okay.
Do anybody here besides me and James actually know Impact and NJPW?
What about Jerry?
What?
What about Jerry and Kuzan?
I mean, if they both want to do it, I guess I can try and do something.
Hey, we'll
talk about
post. Yeah, that'll be off the record.
I'm pretty sure
cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kuzan's doing our stuff. But these are the official next to the predicting panels. As Chris alluded to, the next one will be Sacrifice as we head on to WrestleMania week. Excuse me. But again, before all that, stay tuned tomorrow night after they debut Impromptu Tonight for Open Mic Night, hosted by the Renegade JJ Williams at Cast 18 Studios. And please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, follow Casa D18 Studios. And then, of course, we have our watch along across the Multiverse of Media Sunday night for AEW Revolution. And I am doing it. Yes, I know the world hell has froze over. I'm calling another NXT Roadblock Tuesday night, March 7th, 8 p.m. Standard Time, headlined by Michael Santamar versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. That's the only reason I'm truly doing it, not going to live. And again, that's just what's coming up within the next week, and there's still so much more to come too. Of course, there's going to be AEW Spark, the fallout, the review, and the recap of AEW Revolution with me and James Hebert. And now that Ring of Honor is part of our routines, maybe, because I did see the poll on my community tab, unanimous, there might be even an Honor Hub / Ring of Honor recap simple show in the early going to. Stay tuned. But as always, let it conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and seriously, mental health matters. We are all equal. No one is alone. Keep your words short and sweet, and watch the tweet. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in once again to another Super Predicting. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, give the video a thumbs up across both channels. Hit the subscribe button across both platforms. Let's keep growing these YouTube communities together. I assure you our creative passion and outlook on the wrestling industry isn't letting up anytime soon. For Warren Hayes, that made a special appearance, for James Hebert, for Justin, for Christopher Ross, for Dwayne Atkinson, for the other horsemen that aren't here, including Mark Griffith and Jeff Chadwick, of course, for the new normal, Jerry Slaughter, for anybody that's a fan of any Frank Wrestling, for anybody that's been along the ride of this YouTuber creator's journey that I've been on, that is approaching my 5th year anniversary in the fall. Thank you once again for tuning in to another Super Predicting. As I know, SmackDown is on the air, so I'll leave you all with this as you go enjoy it. Make a positive impact in life, and have a good night. Stay tuned for more Super Predicting to come, for we are AEW. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. James, you know what to do.
Rave party in 3, 2,